These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? We're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Nobody likes you when you're 23 and are still more amused by TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friend said I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlin Wells. Sitting beside... I'm going to crib your line. Sitting beside me physically is Nathan Fulsabach.
Here I am.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How are you?
I am piss poor.
Look at...
I am really been a rough day.
Yeah? How'd that happen,
a
pal?
little hard in the paint last night. I'm not a young man. Not spry like I used to be at a few too many Chardonnays, and I feel kind of like I'm dying. I'm probably not, but...
Few too many barley pops last night?
Oh boy. Yeah. It was rough. The night was fine. The day was rough. My God. Oh.
Well, you get to an age.
Yeah, boy, and I have gotten to that age. What? The hubris I have to think that I can still hang like that. Like, Jesus, dumb.
Yeah, you got to learn that lesson, buddy. And you got to learn it every so often.
I was just going to say, I remind myself about monthly recently, it seems like. Didn't touch the stuff during COVID.
But look at this. Look at us here. Like doing this shit face to face.
It's happening.
Missionary podcasting.
Yeah.
Just looking right in each other's faces.
As I'm looking at the notes because I can't remember shit I watched 48 hours ago. The Simpsons, is that what we do this about?
Well, last night really did do it.
Yeah, no shit.
You, apparently.
What's that? We're doing inhalants? What's happening here?
got a gym sock over a spray paint can.
We're out of Busch Light, but we got Sterno. I guess.
Here we go.
More of a winter inhalant, but I guess we can make it work.
You need a good all-season inhalant.
What are the most popular inhalants?
It's got to be, like, spray paint's got to be up there,
Spray paint's
right?
got to be number one. Oh, man.
Paint remover?
Yeah. How about, like, rubber cement?
Oh, yeah. Rubber cement's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Glue. Any manner
Huff and glue.
Yeah, any
Huff
manner
and gas.
Yeah.
Gas. Man, there's a lot of different avenues one can do if you want to enjoy inhalants.
Enjoy.
Would you consider a computer cleaner? Is that what they're doing? That's inhaling. Like compressed air? Or is that a different kind of high?
I have no idea what people are doing with compressed air.
But people take rips of it and get...
Is that like whippets? Is that the same
Maybe,
thing as the
yeah,
Cool Whip?
I don't-
Or not
yeah.
the Cool Whip, but the whipped cream?
The canned, yeah. I wonder.
I would imagine so, because it's probably the same propellant, or at least a similar one. Because I know that's what you want in the whipped cream is the propellant.
Ever done any whippets?
No,
I've
never
never even witnessed it happening. Like
I've witnessed it for sure, but I haven't. I have not.
Like what kind of I think a lot of what people call high, 60% of that would just make me nauseous. Just like because people, I love the buzz I get from cigarettes. It's like you just like kind of feeling like you have the flu. It's like I don't get into that at all.
Brief 4-minute flu.
Yeah,
is that
just
what you
like
want?
you get weirdly hot and you feel run down and nauseous. I go, man, that's sweet. Give me some more of that awesome buzz.
What a sweet high.
Yeah.
I mean, but alcohol that just makes you numb and dizzy for an evening.
And then the next day it feels like you fell out of a moving car. Like, I don't know. I still get it where, like, I have these weird aches. Like, why do these muscles ache?
Like a body ache, yeah.
Was I, like, doing, like, a duck walk? Like, why do my, like, abductor muscles, or they're called, why do they hurt so? I was like, crouching?
Did I do a bunch of lunges last night?
What? Yeah. Because I bounding from one building to the next. Like,
did I jazzercise?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Not all of these muscles. Why? My deltoids hurt.
You work in muscle groups you usually don't.
Doing shoulder shrugs apparently between drinks.
Getting drunk's a workout apparently.
Yeah, but the results sure aren't there.
You're not putting up Mr. Universe numbers or anything. Well, I hope you haven't drank all the Simpsons away.
Oh man, that's it's like I'm just trying to piece together. Like, okay, it's.
I'm impressed
Bart.
you dragged yourself over here.
Yeah,
frankly,
I needed it.
Yeah,
I needed it.
You had to get out of. We dug you out of whatever centipede pile you were in the basement.
The ants are still the biggest issue. The ants. The centipedes, I think, are now fearful of the ants. They seem to just hide in the bathroom.
They've taken over the ants.
Yeah. The ants have all the carpeted area now.
They're like the Vikings coming to England.
Yeah. Where the centipedes are the Normans, and they just stick to their area. Afraid of the marauding ants.
We don't want no trouble, guys.
Yeah. We'll just stick around with the linoleum. And this drain
That's apparently the line. You know the line.
Yeah. Come on, guys. You know who doesn't have a centipede problem that I know of?
Okay.
The Simpsons.
Oh, look at that. You still got...
That's a segue.
Yep, still got the segue,
what a
baby.
showman.
Hang up another K.
Keep this train rolling. We're in season 13?
You got it.
Episode 3 of The Simpsons?
Boom. 3 for 3.
Look at this.
Season, episode, and series.
Titled Homer the Moe.
You got it.
Which... weird title.
Sure.
Yep. I don't know.
But, I mean, fits in with all of the Bart the noun that we had, way back in the beginning.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And episode begins with the family at the table. Pretty common, And I had to look this up. Homer references a comic strip called Drabble, which is so obscure, I didn't know what it was.
Holy shit.
And when I looked it up, I read a kind of depressing article about how Drabble was canceled from the Chicago Times. For the first time in like 30 years, they weren't carrying Drabble. And the guy that wrote the article loved Drabble, so he reached out to this guy and talked to him about it. I guess at the peak of Drabble, it was only in about 200 some major newspapers. But it wasn't like, I find it fascinating that there are people out there that have a comic strip that make a living from it, but aren't rich.
Right.
Like he's like, yeah, we didn't get rich, but I was able to stay at home and raise the kids. My wife worked.
It's like a 9 to 5.
What a weird thing for your dad to do. He draws some funny pictures and gets paid, $3,000 a month or whatever, I
mean, Arbuckle wasn't fucking ballin', so apparently that's the life of a cartoonist.
Yeah. Is that what John Arbuckle did for a living?
Yeah, John Arbuckle in the comic strips is a cartoonist.
Boy, they don't feature that much.
No.
God, they don't at all, do they?
No, well, it's not about John.
Well, yeah. And I guess... that makes sense, because I think John Arbuckle, in a way, is supposed to kind of mirror Jim Davis.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's supposed to be like vaguely biographical.
Because Jim Davis also grew up like on a farm, like in Indiana, and they like all thought it was crazy that he was going to draw pictures for a living. And you see John Arbuckle sometimes visits his family. It's a farm.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, you get to see his brother and his dad and the grandma or the mom and stuff like that. I wonder if they get featured much anymore. That seems like there's a window of time where that was a real prominent part of the Garfield lore.
I have no idea. Probably not, because he's not making Garfield anymore and hasn't been for a while.
No kidding.
It's one of those things, he owns it and is still the head of the empire, but I don't think he's been drawing the comic for a long time now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh. It is that big of an end. Holy, Garfield hasn't been funny in a long time. And not that it was ever Calvin and Hobbesian levels, but like, I will say maybe the first 15 years of its run, you'd get a laugh every 20 strips.
Yeah. I remember those Vault compilation books being funny as a kid. And I mostly, with Garfield, grew up on the show.
Yeah.
We didn't get a paper that had comic strips in it.
Yeah, like my first books that I was excited to ever get would be Garfield type books. Garfield, Calvin, any comic strip related books. And I was pretty geeked when they came out with the Garfield cartoon.
Yeah, that was one of the, like, Garfield and Friends and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were like numbers 1 and 2.
And I always liked that Garfield, the cartoon, they doggedly did not ever deviate from having a short U.S. Acres cartoon.
Yeah, had to have it in the middle.
Yeah. So weird that they pushed that so hard. Like, I don't know, maybe it just kind of had a life of its own, because that was a daily comic strip that
I was
Jim
about
Davis
to
did.
ask, was that also a strip?
And it just never caught on. Jim Davis. Jesus, this is way too much Jim Davis information for a man that
For
would
this Simpsons podcast.
for a man that would like to find a spouse someday. This is indicting myself. There's a troubling amount of Jim Davis. He was like an assistant artist or writer for a comic strip called Tumbleweeds, which was an Old West themed strip, which I did enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one for you. Jim Davis cut his teeth on Tumbleweeds.
I don't think I knew that Garfield was like a 3-panel comic for a long time. I think that to me, especially as a kid, Garfield was a TV show, and then they made these books with all the strips in them. I don't think I knew that it was like it shows up in the newspaper. I don't think my little kid brain looked at the books and realized those are collections of what was in the newspaper.
Oh, no kidding.
And they for sure were, like, Garfield was for sure a TV show first in my mind.
So, like, you guys didn't get the Bismarck newspaper or anything ever?
Our family
Yeah.
didn't. Like, others did,
Yeah.
sure. Like my grandpa and grandma got it for sure. Like, so I would see them occasionally.
Yeah.
But like, even as a kid, I wasn't scrambling for the fucking newspaper.
Yeah. As I was.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Let's see the new Beetle Bailey.
I can't wait to see what Hagar is up to this week.
Oh, Miss Buxley, once again, you turned down the general's advances.
Oh, Marmaduke, you're too big a dog for that.
Yeah. Why does he think he can sit on that couch? There's already 2 people on there. And then in that article with Drabble, they talked to the person that she's in charge of editing the comics, and there was like a new printing process, and they had to drop 2 comic strips, and Drabble was one of them. And she talked about it like you said, you just have to be harsh. You look at the numbers, what gets the most requests or the most mail, and you drop the ones that are the least. Because no matter what one we drop, I'm going to have angry letters. Yeah. Because she talked about, I was like, we dropped a strip called Belvedere about like a smart dog. And she said, like, no one had given a shit about Belvedere in 40 fucking years. We cut it, we get letters. Like, how dare you? Like I proposed to my wife while reading a Belvedere strip.
And now you monsters are going to take it away?
Get rid of it. The nerve.
Well, like I've learned that in like doing radio, that like the people who like what you're doing don't say anything. You only hear from the people who are mad about it. It's like the referees in football. If you're doing good, you don't even notice them.
Yep. Good point. Yeah. I mean, again, this is a Simpson podcast. I'm apologizing in advance, but do you know enough about Garfield? If you ever read the early books? Probably the first year or 2 of Garfield, because I think he exists in the first 1 or 2 or 3 book compilations of Garfield, that John originally had a roommate named Lyman or Layman.
That's
he was
before.
Slightly shorter than John with a mustache with like dot eyes, not the big circle with the dot, just little dot eyes. And then one day he's just gone.
What happened to Layman?
What happened to Layman? That's been gnawing at comic strip fans for 40 odd years now. What happened to Lyman?
Somebody called Jim Davis.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got nothing better to do today.
Yep. There's thoughts that Garfield without Garfield strip is just John trapped in his own brain because of the guilt for killing Lyman.
That shit is so fucking funny. I haven't checked to see. I haven't looked at Garfield minus Garfield in probably 15 years at this point.
Yeah.
But I remember finding that site for the first time and thinking it was the most brilliant shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, once you take the cat out of this, it's just John losing his mind.
Yeah. There's another guy did a spoof on Garfield. I can't remember if he called it Cartoon Cat, but he would do live reenactments of Garfield strips. And it'd be him as John with this very poor fitting wig on his head with like a light blue dress shirt like John always wears, and like a buddy of his in a beat to shit Garfield outfit. And it'd just be like, they would literally just do the strip. Like, hey, Garfield, what do you think of this? Well, John, I think that's dumb and you suck. Like, oh, Garfield, give me lasagna. And there'd just be like a, like a rim shot. And then it would morph into like a music video, like with Garfield and John involved.
That's amazing.
Like, I just clearly remember Van Halen's Right Now. And it's like them two like morphing in and out. And then it'll say lasagna on the screen. And then 9 years radio silence on this comic strip. They come back, this video thing, they come back with a kind of big budget, like an action movie with Garfield and Odie in costumes and John, but they're like cops on like a drug, like undercover drug thing. And there's like, it's like the trailer. So there's like a voice in the background.
Oh, sure.
Like right now,
yeah.
Cartoon Cat is on its way back. But first, you must call this number. There's a 1-800 number. And what it was is you had to call it and say how many sexual partners you've had in your life. It's like it cuts to John Arbuckle. Why do we need to know that? Do not ask questions. Just call the number. State your name and how many sexual partners. And then they updated it to like an 8-hour YouTube video of just people's call. Hey, my name's Dennis, 14. And it's like Rhonda, 77, or like Bill, 0. It's just that. It's that with like weird music in the background. It's like Garfield's head poking around. Like it's insanity. Just like the work that took. And they haven't released a normal one yet. It's just that was the only thing this guy came back for. Like back into Garfield hibernation.
It's been a while, but I was getting targeted ads on Instagram for insane esoteric Garfield t-shirts for a while there. Like one was it was the Garfield and Friends logo, but instead of from the TV show, but instead the text read Neon Genesis Evangelion in the Evangelion font, which I fucking near bought that one.
Yeah, that is good.
And then like another one of just Garfield in a cowboy hat that just says, I don't think they allow cowboys in heaven or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is the algorithm putting this together that I need weird esoteric Garfield shirts?
Yeah. I think we should all go down that road at some point in our lives. But
yeah, I for sure shouldn't have questioned it and just bought some fucking t-shirts. Just shut up and put your fucking credit card info in.
Big, oversized, like light blue sweatshirt with that on.
Yeah, just like a robin's egg blue.
Yeah. Man, when was the last time I wore a sweatshirt? I was like 4. I've never purchased one. I think I did for my birthday. I think I got a bum equipment sweatshirt because that was all the rage.
Bum equipment.
And I was so excited. But boy, you reach a certain size, sweatshirts aren't for you. You know, it doesn't accentuate the chubby preteen body very well.
A zip up hoodie,
much
not
more
bad, but just a pullover sweatshirt with the cuffed collars and the cuff at the waist. Nope.
I got another sweatshirt for like the 8th grade for a Vikings, like a football set. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I wore it to like, I don't know if you guys did this in your town, but if it's a sports thing, you dressed up the day before a game or not the game day. You always make sure you put a dress shirt on or something like that. But I wore my nice blue sweatshirt. I was like, ooh, look at me styling and profiling. Then I remember stripping down to get into my uniform before the game and it had never been washed. And my skin was dyed purple from like the pellet, like the
fuzz.
Yeah. So what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm just scrubbing my preteen body in the back. Luckily, our school colors, purple and white.
Nice. So it was fine.
So I just look like I got fucking tons of school spirit.
I just like the idea of you like waddling out onto the field looking like Grimace from the McDonald's commercials.
The best is it's basketball, so I'm bare armed. I am bare armed with all that.
Better.
Yeah. It was something. We are 13 seconds into this episode of Simpsons.
I am stunned, by the way, that because during this, when this was happening and Homer's talking about that cartoon strip, I completely went, Nathan's got this, and I checked out for 10 seconds.
Yep, I did not. And I almost didn't even, it didn't even like register with me. So, well, I should Google that. It must be referencing something. I was like, that's a comic strip? Like, no shit. Like, so while they're all doing this, they notice Bart is outside digging a hole for no specific reason.
I like that Lisa's concern is his Mountain Dew is going flat,
yeah,
which is
that
funny
was a
that
good
that's
gag.
a breakfast drink at the Simpson household.
And I just loved his calmness. It's like, what are you doing? Digging? Digging for what? Just digging?
Yeah.
Like, and how it keeps going and it keeps going. Like they try a few different things. Eventually they bring in a family psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Because now the hole's like 20 feet deep.
And the psychiatrist is like, do you ever hear any anger or anything in your house? And Bart's response is, I mean, Dad's always telling me that Whitey's keeping him down. I thought that was a funny line.
Yeah. And it just keeps going. And then Homer at one point, oh yeah, you think you're the only one that can dig a hole? And he starts digging a hole too. And then we just get a cut to Homer in the bar. And this was just all a dumb story.
Yeah, this was just a story he was telling.
That he thought would entertain his buddies at the bar.
Yeah, and that's it. That's where that leg of the episode just ends.
And I did appreciate that the keeping a plot line going. Barney's still sober. Because right away it was like, why isn't Barney's hair all messed up? Then it's like, oh, because he ain't drinking. It's like, huh.
See, and I, until this very second when you told me, had forgotten that Barney was. My note says here, why is Barney sober? Because I had forgotten.
He'd hung it up.
It's like that. It's in that episode where he flies a helicopter, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that Moe's mad that he's sober. Mr. Coffee over here.
Yeah.
He's upset about it.
Yeah, and Mo was just an asshole.
Very on edge.
Yeah, he's just depressed and he's kind of bummed out about it all, and he just ridicules all of his people that are keeping him afloat.
He's real quick on the shotgun.
Yeah, well, he sure has become way too close to that shotgun. So he decides to go back to his old bartending school to kind of see if that'll maybe reinvigorate his love for bartending. Do you recall the name? Spillmore U?
Swigmore, I believe.
Yeah, Swigmore U, yeah. He goes on campus and he meets one of his old professors that he's kind of, you could tell was an influence on him.
Yeah.
Which I did think was funny. He's like an old English professor, like your typical college professor, but he teaches you how to pour beer. And through some kind of baffling decision-making process, Homer is left in charge of the bar, which I also love. And one of my favorite reoccurring gags is just them mentioning that Homer apparently doesn't work anymore.
Yep, they bring it up on here, yeah.
It's not going to go in today, I guess.
Marge brings it up later. Running a bar is a full-time job, and you already don't do your full-time job.
That's what it is, yeah.
The, Putting fucking Homer in charge is a bad idea. We, the audience, know that. Everyone else seems to know that.
When he attempts to punch or knock the jukebox like Fonzie, he's severing something very important.
Yeah, sticks his hand through the glass, bleeds all over. He lets Lenny bring in outside food, and Lenny trips and throws the burger bag into the ceiling fan, and it makes a mess. Everything immediately comically going to shit. I liked during this, Bart tries to crank call Mose, but Homer doesn't get it.
And he walks him through it.
Yeah.
On the phone with him. Well, what do I do, Bart?
Just turn around and say it. Well, I don't get it.
Say what?
Bart just hangs up frustrated.
Oh, yeah, how he knows it's Bart and keeps going along with it.
Yeah, he immediately, okay, Bart. He gets it right away.
Oh, yeah. So Mo kind of goes back. He realizes he's got to make changes with the bar itself.
This is, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no.
This is after the insane scene at the lake with the professor.
Oh, yeah.
It was just jazz it up a little. No wonder you're depressed.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have cancer.
Yeah.
And he walks into the lake, buttons his coat, and walks into the lake and drowns himself.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's Mo's just like, hey, you're gonna get wet. You sure you don't want to take your shoes off first? Then it kind of dawns on him
he intends to stay in that lake.
Fucking insane scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he comes back as a ghost later.
Yeah.
So Homer goes to run Moe's, but it's being dismantled apparently, and he finds out that Mo is back, and he's gonna make some changes, which Homer's kind of heartbroken about right away. There's a good scene where they're at the dinner table and he's like trying to kind of like be a bartender still, like freshening people's drinks. And when he gets mad at Maggie for sleeping at the table, it's so good. Hey, can't sleep here.
Hey, you don't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
Boy, yeah, sleeping at, I've been there before. Like, I got to go home. I am sleeping
Falling asleep
in
at the bar.
public. Like, you are never in a good shape, and that's what's happening.
No, it's not a good scene.
A friend of mine passed out at the bar once, and he woke up, and he had the cue ball for the pool table in his pocket. And there's people at the pool table like, what the fuck is the cue ball? And to this day, he doesn't know if one of his mischievous buddies shoved it or if he just blackout grabbed it as he walked to go take a leak or something like that. And he's just like, oh, he just lobs it like he's shooting a free throw. Somehow hits the balls on the table. And they're like, oh, play it as it is. And they just let that be the break. That was good. That is some go with the flow pool players.
That is some good yes-anding pool players.
Exactly. There's a pool improv going on there.
Stealing the cue ball is a pretty fucking funny joke. Whether it was him or one of his buddies, that's a good joke.
Oh, man. Like I can get a little, I don't drink like this anymore, but like a friend of mine, I was blackout drunk. I don't remember this. In that same bar, it was a bar we are literally 55 feet away from when it used to exist, Ralph's. There were two groups of people, like it was like kind of like two couples screaming at two couples. So like 8 people total, 4 guys, 4 girls. So it's like 2 couples angrily, and like the guys they're on the verge of fisticuffs, like in each other's faces, screaming at each other. And my friend watched this because he didn't even know I was there. I just walk right up to the middle of the fracas, kind of just work my way through, and just casually take their pitcher of beer from them, and just walk away, drinking it two-handed like a little kid drinking a cup of cocoa. He's like, oh, were you with them? Like, and I was like, no. Apparently I told him. He's like, no, but just casually drinking their beer. And that's when he realized, oh, you are just autopiloting right now. Because I remember kind of coming to. Also that night, I took a shit in a bar. You're drunk if you're shitting, especially that bar. There's no stall door at least. And I was berating anyone that came. I was like preemptively letting them know that I'm shitting, big fucking deal. And this guy walks in and walks into the stall with me. Again, no door. I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm taking a fucking shit. He's like, I know you're taking a shit. Next time you got to take a shit around here, talk to one of us. We'll have you shit in the women's bathroom. This toilet doesn't work very well. You're gonna.
Oh God!
So like a PSA. Hey, we see you in here a lot. Let us know if you ever need to shit. We'll clear out the women's bathroom. That's where we do our shitting around here.
I love that he had a fucking PSA for you. Oh God, Nathan's in the bathroom. Set roadblock in there.
I like that idea. That a thoughtful regular. Hey man, there's somebody shitting in the toilet. We can't have that. Remember what happened last time? Who is it?
I think it's that guy. Oh, Nathan? Okay, hang on.
Yeah. Let's see. Come on, man.
That's how you know you're at your bar. That's your cheers.
When they got to explain where to shit.
If someone's gonna walk into the stall with you with your pants around your ankles.
Yeah. If I remember, that toilet was out of commission for a long time. So there's a history of toilet troubles.
A history of toilet violence.
A haunted toilet.
That's the sequel that Vigo won't sign up for.
So Mo has decided to really do a 180, and is it just M? Is that the new name? And right away you don't really know, but you can tell it's kind of going that direction because he hires Formico would be the name of the guy.
Yeah,
Formico.
I think that was the guy's name. Formico.
He is very eccentric, newer, kind of interior design guru, because it is going to be a real ritzy club. And of course, Lenny, Carl, and Barney, and Homer, not a big fan. But then, I shouldn't say that. Right away, they're kind of like, well, we'll see. We'll give it a
we'll go check this out,
Because there's a great scene where they're at the bar and that Formico comes and takes the light bulb out. So there's you might enjoy this more. So they're in darkness just so nobody can see them. And it's
and then they bring velvet ropes to put around them so nobody interacts with them at all. I liked Mo describing, because like everything's weird in there, and I think it's Barney maybe who's like, there's an eye on the television that just kind of looks around. He's like, what's with this? And Mo's like, it's postmodern art. And he's like, what does that mean? Weird for the sake of being weird. I'm like, that's a very Mo way to explain postmodernism.
And they accept. Oh, okay.
Okay. Weird for the sake of weird. I got it.
And they kind of realize that Mo doesn't want him there. He kind of likes, because he's hanging out with like some models and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got his new friends.
Yeah, so they are. And Homer, of course, is very stubborn and says, well, we're going to start a bar at my place. And then he builds a bar in the garage. I don't think it really has a name, because it's supposed to be kind of clandestine.
When he has Lisa hold that urinal in place, and he just nails it to the wall, just dead center right in the urinal, and then just brushes his hands like that's done. It's like that's wrong on about 4 different levels. Like, that's not how that works, and that's not how you hang it.
That is just gonna stink. A urinal does nothing. It just, maybe it's okay. Aim here. That's all that's gonna do. And well, Lenny, Carl, and Barney, they make that their home, And man, that REM fucking just is so shoehorned. Like, why?
I thought of you right away.
Why are we doing?
I know how
here?
I know how you love a celebrity appearance.
Yeah. It's around this time Mo realizes he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, he tries to turn the TV to sports, and they all freak out. And then there's one other thing too. Well, I think it's Homer they're all back, taken aback when they find out that they don't have what's the beer they drink? Duff. They don't have Duff. They have some weird
Malaysian beer that's better than Duff. Yeah.
So Mo is now on foot, walking away, just kind of in his own head. And then he notices, like, wait a second, like, those are my regulars. He sees the cars outside of Homer's, and he goes into the garage and sees them basically reliving Mo's bar in there. And
and REM is playing.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Why?
Do you have any relationship with REM? Do you like REM?
Yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, they're a band I have the greatest hits of that I really like.
Sure. I just know the hits. Yeah. So they're one that I never got into.
I've never dived into any of their early, like, pre-fame, because some people love, like, because they were a band for, 6-7 years, put out 3 or 4 albums before they hit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when I was like, 8, 9, 10, 11, REM had like radio pop hits. They had songs like, I remember like Stand in the Place Where You Live. That was on the radio all the time when I was a kid.
Losing My Religion was a big hit. End of the World as We Know It to a lesser extent.
Yep.
I didn't hear that song until Independence Day. That's in that film briefly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And again, I don't think I've ever, and I was an alt rock. If it came out, I bought the CD, I don't think I've ever bought an REM CD when it was like new. Everything I bought was like secondhand at in a used.
At a cheapo discs or something. Yeah.
But I remember buying at a used CD shop in Tennessee. I bought Automatic for the People. And that's a super, super
banger.
Good record. Yeah. I think I own Monster, maybe one, but that might be about it. And then that Greatest Hits. Like, I love that song that was on the, that Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman movie, Man on the Moon.
That's a good song
really
too, yeah.
Good song, yeah.
I like that one.
They had a single in the late 90s called Imitation of Life that went nowhere, but it's a really good song.
They are tangentially responsible for one of my favorite Mystery Science Theater jokes. I forget the movie. All I remember is the joke. It might be from the movie now that I think about it. But there's on the screen is like a desolate desert cracked planet, and they're kind of going over the curve of this desolate planet, and I think it's Crowbot pipes up, oh God, it's Michael Stipe's head. It's like one of my favorite Mystery Science Theater jokes, 'cause it's so specific.
And he embraced the bald look. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the first. Billy Corgan was not too much longer after.
He and Moby were killing it.
Holy Moby, I don't know if he's ever had hair. Because, like, I remember buying one because I loved the Play when that was his kind of breakout album.
Yeah,
called
the one
Play.
with him jumping on the cover. Yeah,
I bought one of his other albums at a used CD store just to see if I enjoyed it. I don't even know if I ever fucking listened to it, but he's bald on that too. So it's like, unless he must have went bald at a pretty damn young age.
Yeah, Moby ain't ever had hair.
Yeah, weird. Yeah. Like Steve Martin. Can you remember him with dark hair? You know, like
no.
He must have went gray in his early 20s, mid 20s.
Senior year of high school.
Yeah, no shit. Looks like he's one of the faculty.
He does look like school faculty.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, all of his buddies calling him Mr. Martin just to bug him, you know? Like,
knock it off, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Steve.
Yeah.
You know it.
So Moe calls into question Homer, the legality of Homer having his own bar. Homer claims it's a hunting club, which it is not. But Homer stubborn says, well, I'm going to go hunting tomorrow. I will prove to you this is a hunting club. And Lisa is now invested because she doesn't want any animals to die because of Homer and Moe's, beef. Mm-hmm. So it's got, I do like so Homer's out hunting. Lisa's trying to stop it. Moe whispers for Lisa and he's like, listen, I don't like you and you don't like me. He's like, I like you.
Yeah, she's like, I like you.
Yeah. So why would you have trouble with an 8-year-old? God, Moe's the best. So yeah, they kind of work together so Homer doesn't shoot anything, and he's going to shoot a turkey, but then Moe scares it away with a cougar call, which just makes it so Homer wants to shoot a cougar, ends up shooting Moe.
Shoots Moe.
Yeah, and they kind of that basically he sees Moe was injured, and he goes realizes him and Moe are friends, and then that kind of
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of it.
If you're going to make the bar back to what it was, we'll go back there.
Yeah, and they're all having Thanksgiving dinner with REM there.
Yeah. Which, it was okay.
Frankly, it could have been any band. So I'm not upset about it or whatever.
At least it was only in the final fifth of the episode. It's not like at
least they didn't build an episode around it.
At least the Mel Gibson one.
At least REM wasn't vital to the story.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are the only ones that I'm like, maybe not. So I had no problem with REM being here. They needed a band to be playing at the bar. So that one I liked. It was once I got on board after the shift of that whole first 10 minutes is just Homer telling a story that never happened.
A terrible, boring story.
That was a weird shift. But once I kind of recouped from that, I was like, okay, here we go. Yeah. A pretty seldom Moe-centric episode.
Yeah, very true. Count on one hand easy how many of those have been.
Outside of the one where he gets his ugly mug on the calendar and then gets plastic surgery.
And I would say that one boxing one early on is fairly Moe-centric.
That's pretty Moe heavy. Yeah. The next one, episode 4, A Hunka Hunka Burns in Love.
That's a good title.
Is a good-ass title. Yeah. And a pretty fucking good episode, I think. Mm-hmm. Lots of burns, which I love. Mm-hmm. The Simpsons are in Chinatown, and boy, howdy, do you cringe through the first 5 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
Ooh, real. There's some teeth grinding ones in here.
Yeah,
just
real rough accents.
Yeah, a lot of troublesome in retrospect jokes here.
It's a different time.
Yeah. I do love, though, I love the horrible fortune cookies they all get at the Chinese restaurant. My favorite being geese can be troublesome.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic. Yeah. If I opened a fortune cookie and that's what it said, I would buy every box of fortune cookies they had.
A friend of mine used to work at a school, a kind of like a home for troubled teens.
Okay.
It was a Christian theme home, and he was basically kind of like a boys ranch type thing where, they're there to kind of keep the place running and make sure the kids stay in line and that kind of stuff. And they ordered fortune cookies. There was a lot of kids, so they'd buy food in bulk. And they bought their fortune cookies from a place that let you choose the theme. And they had a Christian themed, discipline theme. So it would be God knows what you do when you at night. Sinful thoughts lead to sinful actions. It's basically telling you boys have to quit beating off all the time.
You gotta stop. Even the cookie is saying it.
You're ruining all the bedding. Like we can't buy more.
All of the showers are plugged tight, guys. You gotta stop.
Oh man.
If you opened a fortune cookie and it implied that you should stop masturbating, I would probably stop masturbating. Like,
God damn it,
wow,
I
even
thought
the
of that.
fortune cookie knows.
How much nut goes into the shower drains at like a college? So sick. God, that's repulsive. I never thought of that.
Well, I'm sorry for
God
bringing that
damn
into your life.
I've never been a shower stroke guy, but I know a lot of dudes are.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh my God. Fuck.
Honestly, I think it's out of laziness. You want me to stand up and do this
oh my
at the same
God,
time?
yeah.
No way.
It's just the showering alone's exhausting.
I'm gonna get a side ache from doing that. Get that weird cramp up under your ribs. Like, oh no, I don't like this.
This isn't enjoyable. Oh man. Oh, and I do like, not only do we get burns, but the long overdue return of feeble burns.
Hell yeah, we
Oh
do.
God, what is it? This cookie is weighted down with a note.
Yep.
He can't lift a fortune cookie because it has paper in it. Oh, that was good.
Before that, we get a real crowbarred in Woody Allen joke where Woody Allen is in the writer's room writing fortunes.
Yeah.
Could have done without that, especially now. Did you watch the HBO documentary?
I heard
It's like, I was never a Woody Allen fan before, so
this didn't turn it around.
This
for you.
didn't turn it around, yeah.
Oh man, maybe I've been misjudging this guy this whole time.
Yeah, somehow I didn't suddenly become a fan seeing a documentary about him banging his teenage cousin. Like, I'm like, oh, this didn't turn it around. Weird.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk?
Fucking feeble burns with that cookie, trying so hard to break it open, and then there's a loud crack sound, and Smithers is like, "Good job, sir." He's like, "That was my thumb," and Smithers has to open it for him.
Oh my God, yeah, so good.
And Feeble Burns opens his fortune cookie, and it says, "You'll find true love on Flag Day," which is today. And so Burns, he's got the fever. He's like, let's do it. He tells Smithers, quote, "Come along, we're going womanizing," which is real good. I love that. And he's out at a fancy party and he's out hunting, but the Monopoly man swoops in and steals his lady that he's talking to.
That was good, yeah. Like you're driving that little car out too.
And he's just like, damn penny pegs, he's hogging all the ankle or something along those lines.
Stealing all the good ankle at this party.
Yeah, so him and Smithers end up at a strip club, which as soon as they walk in, there's all the strippers on poles, and Burns is like, yes, it's one of those nude female fire stations, which is funny. And we get to see, it's another one of this is where the meme comes from. Smithers in the corner, like cowering while the strippers are dancing on him.
Yeah,
like I've seen that 1,000 times, and I finally got to see where it's from. Because Smithers, of course, is like, oh no. Burns gets back to his car. There's only like 10 seconds left of Flag Day, and there's a female cop giving him a ticket, and he asks her out, Hail Mary, and she says yes. So now Burns, I love his like floating on the air. He's so happy, just like pirouetting away. God, I love Burns.
And her name Gloria. You'd think I'd have a note.
Gloria. Yeah. They go to the fair or carnival or boardwalk, someplace where there's a Ferris wheel, and they go there, and that date seems to go pretty well. But she's about to back out of his request for a second date because he's 1,000 years old.
104.
Yep. We get to learn, which you figure this was written in 2000 because it aired in 2001, meaning what? Burns is born in 1896.
So awesome. Yeah.
That would check out as far as what baseball fans he's a fan of in the baseball episode fucking 8 seasons ago. So I like that there's some consistency to that. But so she's about to turn him down for a follow-up date, but Homer is chasing a dog who stole his gum and happens to be right there. And so Smithers reels him in and has him back him up. And Homer's like, oh, yeah, we do cool, fun, young shit all the time.
He's a real wild card.
So she agrees to go out with Burns again. They go out dancing at Stu's disco.
Yeah.
And like Burns is just wiped out the entire time because he's fucking 104 years old. And the scene of it's Gloria and Burns, and Gloria's kind of hugging on him at the table, and Homer's sitting next to Burns, and Burns is like, hey, put my hand on her thigh or whatever. And then so Homer moves his hand. He's like, I said hers and I said thigh or whatever the fucking joke is. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Burns carrying her upstairs.
Getting carried.
Being carried by Homer. That was funny. And then Burns gives himself a shot of his rare squirrel aphrodisiac.
Is it a squirrel? I was trying to figure out. Yeah, it was some kind of small woodland animal.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it only existed for 6 weeks in the 1800s or something. And he's immediately virile and re-energized. And Homer just looks at the needle that's still got a little in it and gives it to himself. And this whole sequence I thought was funny. Him like with his tongue out like the fucking like the Looney Tunes wolf fucking sprinting up the stairs carrying Marge, and then that cuts to them just fucking spent in the bed, and Marge is just like, oh god, I hope the kids didn't hear us. And you see Bart wide-eyed and traumatized, and then Lisa, and then Ned next door.
And Ned says something, I can't remember what it is, but he's just like with his sleeping cap, his eyes wide open,
just traumatized by Homer's enhanced aggressive lovemaking. Holy shit. That whole sequence I thought was really funny. Now they're out bowling. Burns proposes and she says yes. So Gloria is going to marry Burns. He goes off to get a bottle of champagne, which is when Snake shows up to rob a bowling alley, which is really something.
Talk about risk-reward ratio.
Yeah, I don't know how much cash business is done at a bowling alley. Plus, you think of the logistics of keeping your gun on all of the customers. It's not a good.
Yeah, well, he is often incarcerated, so he's just a prolific criminal. He's not necessarily a good criminal.
Sure, yeah. Maybe he's bad at this. That's why he's always incarcerated. He shows up and bumps into Gloria, who it turns out is his ex, and he thinks that Homer is the fiance, because Homer's the only other one there. So he kidnaps the two of them and takes off. And then when Burns comes back, he finds the discarded ring and thinks that Homer ran off with his lady. Yeah. So you have a comedy of errors here, of miscommunications and incorrect assumptions. The Snake takes off to a cabin where he's got those two tied up. The cops show up. They have the cabin surrounded, and Homer, while trying to get out of his ropes by burning them off in the fireplace, sets the cabin on fire. Gloria's still inside. Snake and Homer get out. Burns rushes in, and there's a great moment of like, it looks like him holding her about to step out of the flames, but when she comes through the flames, of course, it's her carrying him because he's feeble Burns. And then he and Homer have his moment of like, oh man, Mr. Burns, how'd you do that? And Burns says, well, there's no muscle stronger than the human heart. Yeah. And Homer just immediately is like, what about the wiener? A guy on TV lifted a paint can with his. Which my immediate thought after, boy, that's really funny, was, boy, paint cans are heavy. Yeah. There's no fucking way.
And right before he bursts into the to save Gloria, I think it's Wiggum's like, I gotta fight it. It's like, no offense, but you're a decrepit monkey skeleton. Such a great way to describe Burns. Perhaps, but I'm a decrepit monkey skeleton in love.
Yeah. So good.
God, this was a good episode.
This was a fucking real good one.
Earlier, before the snake jumping into the storyline, when Burns is like on cloud 9, he's actually happy around the office. When Carl's like, "Hey, look at Burns. This is my chance. Hey, can I get a raise? Clean out your desk."
Yeah, just real happily.
Yeah, just immediately fires him. Just asking for raise. And Carl, well, I've had a good run.
Yeah, Carl's just
everyone's taking everything in stride that day. God, when he says, "I've had a good run."
Oh God, I love Carl and Lenny both. The more they're on this show, the better. And Gloria at the end of all this goes back to Snake.
Yep.
So now we're right back where we were.
The Simpsons walking into the sunset with Mr. Burns.
Yeah, I liked this episode a lot.
I like that thing where at the end they're discussing Van Dykes versus soul patches versus goatees.
Yeah, because he's like, he mentions a devil beard and like no one knows what he's talking about. He's like, like a goatee, like like a Van Dyke, and then someone says, "No, that's a mustache," which it's not. That's like,
well, I think for years we have kind of bastardized what a goatee should just be on the chin, but we consider the goatee the mustache morph into the chin,
like the circle around your mouth.
Yeah, which I think that is technically a Van Dyke.
Huh.
I think a goatee would be a goatee, well, what we picture a goatee with the mustache removed.
Yeah, no mustache, just chin.
And then when Bart brought up soul patches. Boy, they have went away, haven't they? Boy, you don't see many soul patches. There were a lot of soul patches in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, Dave Draymond from Disturbed, Sully Erna from Godsmack, and Batista from wrestling.
Yep, there
were probably my most prominent.
New metal,
yeah,
the soul patch.
Yeah, new metal loved a soul patch.
Did Spider from Power Man 5000? Did he have one?
In my head he's clean shaven, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I can't recall.
I just remember the spiky bleach blonde hair.
Yeah, you're right. I think I'm thinking of somebody else. Did maybe one of the trying to think, did one of the guys in Mudvayne have one? But their facial hair was so weird. So
they're all over the place.
Yeah.
The one guy for sure had the long goatee.
That's what I'm thinking
in
of.
It, maybe.
Yeah. They were too extreme for soul patches.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Soul patch, you're pretty even keel. You want to hear some. You can
still wear a button down with a soul patch.
Yeah.
So new metal fucking loved soul patches for sure.
God, this was a good episode. Just looking back at some of these.
I loved it. Holy shit. Especially once you get past that Chinatown shit, man. When Homer's like at home trying to think of, like, he's writing fortune cookies, wearing the fucking like Raiden from Mortal Kombat rice patty hat. Like, oh man, don't do that. What are we doing?
Oh boy.
Oh jeez, I don't like this. I was over here just like pulling on my collar. Just.
Am I gonna be on a government list now? So we're up to episode 5, The Blunder Years, which I'm sure is a play on the Wonder Years. Are you too old for the Wonder Years?
I don't know the Wonder Years at all.
No kidding, really?
I also, we weren't a TV family. Most Seinfeld references go past me because we weren't a TV family.
Really?
So, it's not even necessarily the age, it's the sheltered.
So, in the wintertime, the TV, was it on in the evenings? You're a kid?
Well, we went a long time without TV at all, during which time it was all movies. We were VHS buyers in a big way.
Oh, interesting. Really? Okay.
Yeah, to this day, I think my mom has most of our VHS collection.
Really? That's commendable.
So, yeah, it was a lot of VHS, but other than that, I remember always watching sports. We would always watch NFL and NBA.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
But never. I've mentioned before, Saturday nights was American Gladiators and Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
You watch the news and Wheel of Fortune and shit like that. But and I think a lot of my youth was upstairs in my room playing Nintendo also. So
yeah.
I think a lot of evenings were spent that way.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, yeah, we were a wheel. My mom loves. I think moms love Wheel of Fortune. That's a truism. You can. I feel comfortable saying that around most people.
I fucking love Wheel of
me too.
Fortune.
That's a great show.
Big fan.
Yeah. To the point, like I got into it during COVID. I was back home. My folks watch Wheel of Fortune, so I watch Wheel of Fortune. To the point I started to get angry again when people would not follow proper Wheel of Fortune strategy. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you solving the puzzle? You're behind. Look at the clock. You got one game left at the most. You're gonna solve now. $7,000. Would you come here to lose? Are you a loser? You take a risk.
You already know what it is. Spin the wheel. Get some consonants. Get some money in your pocket.
There are 7 L's on the board. You're just gonna let that golden opportunity because you're afraid you might get to lose your turn. You don't deserve to win. I remember me yelling that at my poor mother, and my dad's the same way, just losing his mind. I hope you lose. You deserve to lose. Like at 6:15 p.m. This is the hostility we got to have in the house.
You spent all your fucking money on vowels 2 puzzles ago. What's the matter with you?
I think for me, it's usually they don't spend enough on vowels. Well, you just up here flying blind. You got $1,500. Buy some vowels. Give yourself a goddamn chance.
Well, yeah, spend it if you got it. But when you're in third place to begin with, what are you doing buying vowels? Fucking spin that motherfucker and spin it like you mean it. This fucking half-ass ginger-ass spinning. Fucking limp dick wheel spinners.
I will only defend the limp dick spin if they figured out a way where they can aim it. Like maybe there's some strategy, but it's like, go for the gusto, man. You're on TV, Like act like, like show off a little bit.
Spin it like you've been here before.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, and like the fucking final round of people just get a cue. Are you guessing a cue?
Yeah.
You're on TV. Have some fucking pride.
Yeah. I'll take a Q, vowel, U. What are you choosing U for? If the Q pops up, you know what it's going to be next. Like X, another X, whatever. And Pat just throws the cards in the air. He's finished with you.
And they already give you the N. R-S-T-L-N-E. Get off my fucking television.
Just put N on there again to be safe. And he gets it. I'll do a P and a Z. Vowel I. The words pizzazz. Still barely gets it in.
God bless Vanna. She's still there for no reason.
Just
those letters can light up on their own.
I think the amount of work she has to put in to stay that attractive must be like what Tom Brady has to do to prepare himself. Just like
the way Tom Brady hasn't had a slice of pizza in 10 years.
As soon as the show's over, they dip her in an ice tank and they're just liniment, just rubbing her down, like sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber.
She's got the ice bag with the wrap like a pitcher tied to her shoulder. She's stretching, just God, it's tough.
I think they do it with her face too. It's just this big towel wrapped around her head with some kind of special exotic mud from the Nile River basin.
Yeah, if you think about it, I'm sure that poor woman, she doesn't get paid to turn the letters anymore. She gets paid to look like she did 30 years ago. That's what she's getting paid for.
She has to be 60, doesn't she? If not, she's very
gotta
close.
Be, at the very least, very close.
Yeah, because that show she's been on that show for over 30 years. So assuming she was in her 20s when it started,
You want a fun go, look up some of... Pat Sajak in the 70s was a weatherman.
Oh, really?
But not it's not like weathermen, people who do the weather on the news now are meteorologists.
Yeah,
back then. They used to just be a personality.
Yeah.
Which is the difference between meteorologist and weatherman. And he used to be in the 70s, and some of it's kind of fun to watch because it's like, look at you.
He's kind of quick-witted to have learned. Patsy, he's his back and forth is good.
Yeah,
he'll think of some funny little quips to kind of throw in there.
Especially if the contestant during the introductions after the first commercial break say something dumb, he's usually pretty quick.
Yeah, he's good at that. So. Are you saying weathermen and weatherwomen have kind of been pushed aside? Do most stations now have an actual meteorologist?
I bet they're still out there, but I'm thinking of like the radio station I used to work at was also attached to a television station, and all of the people in the meteorology department were meteorologists.
That makes sense now, because I remember like in the 80s and 90s, even like in rural, if your guy or gal was a meteorologist, you bragged about it. With like
it was a
the
big deal.
Upper North Dakota's own meteorologist, Tom Schaefer, like never thought of that. Though that's why they did that, because the other guy, he just got a mass comm degree that took him 7 years to finish, and he don't know shit about shit. But
and
he can read.
His weather and forecasts were, fucking faxed to him that day. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's good. That's true. Like
now they're meteorologists.
Yeah, that they can look at the data and figure it out.
But yeah, they used to just be much like me on the radio. They used to just be some asshole who could talk.
I could wear a suit and look, and at least act like they were confident in the information.
I can't do that part, but I can't wear a suit and be confident. But
so we're up to episode number 5, the blunder years.
You want to try to start this one again?
Oh, we did. I forgot. Jesus.
Tried to talk about The Simpsons, got halfway through the title and talked about fucking Wheel of Fortune.
Started with me asking you if you ever got into the Wonder Years. Oh.
Instead, we just talked about Wheel of Fortune and meteorologists for 15 minutes.
What's going on?
This is going to be the longest podcast we've done in a long time.
Make a 2-parter.
Put the other one out on Thursday.
Yeah, just like the movies have to be on 2 VHS tapes. The internet can't hold it.
Like this is the Dances with Wolves of podcasts. I've been saying it from day one.
Yeah. The English patient of podcasts. So Marge accidentally buys the wrong brand of what the fuck, paper towel. Jesus.
The big napkin.
Yeah, the big, you wipe your ass with if you're camping in a pinch.
The long toilet paper. Like the wide.
The one mom gets mad at me for flushing.
Deadbeat dad napkin. That's
deadbeat dad plate. A sad dad. I've had a few of my share of sad dad meals.
The divorced flatware set.
Holy shit! They should label it as that. So Marge buys the Burley paper, and she's about to return them, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Like anyone would notice or care what brand of paper towel she has. She's about to return them until she gets a good glimpse at the Burley man, and she gets all sorts of horned up over the Burley man.
Well, to be fair, the Burley man's pretty burly.
Got those plaid shoulders, she says. Just so, and what I thought was a good gag is she's just drinking in the untamed masculinity of the Burley man. Homer bursts in all scared because a bee almost stung him. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I felt the wing go past my ear.
He's like reaching out like a little kid, like he wants a hug, which is so good. So yeah.
Yeah, him just like whimpering with his arms out like
yeah. And Marge is so smitten, she writes a letter to like Burley Co. to get
my God.
What a fucking weird thing to do.
When she like Lisa comes running in and like she spills some on the counter and absorbs it with the paper towel, and Lisa's like, "You pulled me out of school for this?"
Yeah.
So
I mean,
good.
Granted, those are some very good paper towels. It's
she spills a lot and picks it all up with a corner.
Yeah, those are some alarmingly good papers. Like, does NASA know about this technology? Like,
this is fucking voodoo in this paper towel.
So Homer finds out that Marge is so into the Burley man. Of course, if he's not the center of attention, he gets miffed. So he just can't stand Marge having a little Joey in her life that doesn't involve him.
Yep, he's got a rein on it.
Yep. So he and Bart prank call Marge and tell her that they are the actor. Chad something.
Chaz Sexington.
That's what it is. And he's the actor that portrays Burley man, and that they appreciate her interest, and he's going to show up that night for supper.
I'll be there at 7.
Yeah. How'd you get my address? I don't know. I'll be there at I don't know is a good answer.
Yeah, that's his answer.
Yeah.
How'd you get my phone number? I don't know.
Yeah.
And just keeps talking.
Oh, my God. So she and Marge, sweet, simple, dumb Marge, has like an evening gown on.
Yeah.
Like the amount of dress up, all the whole family's in suits.
And decorates the place with burly paper towel rolls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck, I forgot. They roll out a roll of towels like a red carpet for him to walk down.
Poor Marge.
Yeah. And it turns out it is not the burly towel man. It is Barney portraying.
In a flannel shirt that doesn't fit.
Yeah. And so Marge is very upset about this, and she leaves in a huff. And Barney is like, "Are you telling me I was just a pawn in some cruel prank?" Which is good. I like self-aware Barney.
I like that Barney's dismayed at this.
Oh my God. So Lisa, hey, you guys messed up. You got to make this up to Mom. And Homer, even though he's adult, realized, yeah, we got to. So they decided that, like, the family is going to go out for a nice dinner at a restaurant that employs an insult hypnotist. Mesmerino, which is a good name, too.
I took it as like, this is just a place that has shows, and that's who's there this weekend.
He's not the house.
He's not there every night.
It's like on a weeknight, there's two families eating.
I like that way better, actually.
Oh,
it's
my
fucking
God.
Tuesday. They've both been there before, so he's trying to do crowd work with them. They're like, you know us. We were here last week.
Yeah, we're here a lot.
At the Pimento Grove.
That's what it is. Have we seen that before?
We have.
Yeah.
It's, if I'm remembering right, it's the go-to, let's get dressed up and go out on a date night kind of dinner place.
That sounds very right.
In Springfield.
Yep. So yeah, that insult, like the comments he's been like, this is uncalled for. These people are with their families.
Insult hypnotist is pretty fantastic.
And he does some crowd work with Homer, but inadvertently makes Homer like dredge up this mysterious childhood trauma that makes him just continuously scream.
I laughed so hard
when he was brushing his teeth while screaming.
While shrieking.
Yeah, like it's a shriek is the right word for it.
Just like a fucking car alarm.
Yeah, so
I was laughing real hard.
God, that was good. Yeah,
when that hypnotist turns Professor Frink into a fucking ladies' man, and like he's fucking flirting with that waitress, and then he goes and snaps his fingers to turn him back, and it's like, it looks like it hurts, like in like American Werewolf in London, where it looks like the transformation hurts, and the whole time he's like, "No, don't make me go back!" Like he's so bummed out to be Frink again.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Kind of forgot about that too. Like,
I love the idea.
Tells her to swallow her gum. Like, why can't you just spit it out? Like,
I love the idea of this entertainment hypnotist, but it hurts him.
Yeah, he's like physically deforming the people.
And that he hates it. Like, don't make me go back. Shit, I laughed at that.
And then, so after, he still is screaming, like, and Bart, like, oh, Dad's still mental. He's just enjoying this.
Yeah. I like that during this scene, they just roll him over on the couch, so he's screaming muffled into the couch, and it's muffled. He doesn't stop, just muffled.
So I think we get Lenny and Carl over first.
They bring him home from work.
That's why
he was causing a scene.
And they're like, well, what could it be? And then like Mo just appears because he's got an important part of the story.
Yeah, Mo just kind of shows up.
Oh, Mo's here.
And they're like, what are you doing here? Where are you guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you're my business.
Yeah.
And I think it's Marge that suggests the tea, or maybe Lisa suggests that, like, Indian tea.
I think Lisa suggests it, and then Marge is like, "Oh, thank God, I'll have an excuse to use my Native American tea set or whatever it is." So
great, and then the tea does work to bring back memories, and it's basically Stand By Me,
and it just turns into Stand By Me. Yeah, do you like Stand By Me?
I do, but I haven't seen it since.
Same here.
Yeah, teenager.
It's been a while, but I remember thinking, this is good, but I heard that it was amazing.
Yeah. I definitely don't play. Though I love the story, or like the novella. I think it's technically. I think it's a very good story,
or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It is. I like Will Wheaton as a human being.
Yeah.
So like it's fun to see old Will Wheaton stuff.
Yeah. River Phoenix was a very insanely talented child actor. Was becoming a good actor, an old actor before he died. So like, yeah, he's. I'm a Kiefer Sutherland guy, especially 80s Kiefer Sutherland.
Sure.
Mostly because it's Lost Boys.
I was about to say, is it Lost Boys?
It's just the energy of Lost Boys radiating. God, fucking Lost Boys is good.
I was about to say, is it Lost Boys or what's the fucking cowboy one?
The Cowboy Way?
No, the other cowboy one. Bon Jovi's in the sequel. Young Guns.
Young Guns, and that is the wheelhouse year for me to be into a movie as a kid. I maybe have seen parts of them.
Yeah.
I just remember, I think it's in the first one, they run into a middle-aged kind of like assassin or bounty hunter. I just remember Charlie Sheen's character says, that guy's killed more people than smallpox, which I thought that's a good line, I
wonder if that's where Undertaker got it. This is how my mind works, is Undertaker in a promo once in the early aughts said, I've crippled more men than polio.
Oh, really?
Huh. Just a quick detour into wrestling for no reason. Should have kept that one in my head.
Any Undertaker reference, I think, is always welcome. And I do like how Mo is, of course, like the barefoot pig pen of the operation.
Yeah, he's the grizzly one.
Like as the kids are looking over that edge down to that, like, oh, I don't want to jump off that. That is not safe at all. And Homer, of course, just dives off, and you think it's like, oh, it's a real, it's a real far drop. Thinking it'll be water, it's just muck. He just like he's like howling in pain because he'd be dead.
Yep.
And then he's poking that stick into that runoff culvert. Now that scene is kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
With all the worms and stuff. So it's like, that would be kind of traumatizing.
There's some good maggots on that dead body. Yeah. Homer finds a dead body. I like that the tough kids they almost get in a fight with are young versions of Fat Tony and his mobsters. I thought that was a good, like, who in the Simpsons universe do you cast as the ruffians? I thought that was a good choice.
Like one of the ruffians, let's kick and punch them. Yeah. That's a good thing.
I think that's Legs. Is that the skinny one's name with the curly hair?
Good thing to exclaim. Let's kick and punch them. So they decide that we got to go back and find that body. That's what'll help cure Homer. We'll go back to the source. So there's this good Mo thinks he's gonna get to come along. Like, well, they said Simpsons family. And like Lenny and Carl, like, okay, let's go. Well, this is for them. And like Mo, I think he hangs out there. Like, so like, you guys probably don't need our help. Thanks for understanding, Mo. And he just sadly leaves.
Like he wants to come with so
his
bad.
Hand drags by. He was like, no, I guess that's just for them.
And then his face up against the window.
Oh my God, that was good. And they go for Wiggum finds them because they had parked their car by a fence or something.
Yeah, they run into him at the quarry.
So he kind of comes with them, and they're going through. They fucking those paper towels because how are we going to find the body? This quarry's full of water. Like, Marge has like a trunk load of paper towels.
I chuckled at this.
And they soak up a lake's worth of water. And they discover the body.
The skeleton
now at this point, Well, just this round rock and all these white sticks.
Pretty sure it's a skeleton.
Yeah. So they decide to get into the culvert, and they're walking through the culvert, and it's very culverty. And they find out where it comes to. There's like some kind of, I don't know what you would call it.
A hatch.
A hatch. There's the word I'm looking for. There's a hatch. Like, here it is. So like,
this is the murderer for sure.
Chief Wiggum pulls his side piece out. He's unscrewing it. He's like, okay, this is it. This is it. You just get a glimpse of a shadowed figure looking like they're holding a knife. And when they flip the lid open, it's Burns with a letter opener.
Yeah.
What does he call it? My corpse chute or something like that?
How'd you get my corpse pipe?
Yeah. And then the story goes in a direction I did not think it was going to go. Mm-hmm. He is not a murderer. It turns out that is actually Smithers Sr.
Yeah.
And isn't the backstory that there's like some kind of major malfunction and Burns kind of browbeats him into going in there with no protection at all, sealing his fate but saving the power plant.
Yeah, well, no, like Smithers Sr. just kind of volunteers, like hold Whalen Jr. and gives him to Burns and kind of heroically actually goes in there and saves the fucking day.
And Burns just kind of, oh sure, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
better you than me, you know.
He for sure doesn't fight it.
You're right. Yeah. And I like to get just to see what Mr. Smithers Sr. looked like. I thought that was a nice touch.
It was such a dark scene with Burns holding baby Smithers standing outside that door going, ooh, look at Daddy make his funny faces and his skin royal and now lay perfectly still. Oh no. Like there's still some heart in that Burns to where he kind of feels bad about it.
And just a little bit before this too, there's a good scene when like to prove his innocence, he finds that old reel of video. It's like, if you're going to watch one movie this summer that proves my innocence, watch this one.
That was a good line. Yeah.
And what was it like? And then Smithers was watching the whole time. He's like, it's like, what?
From the doorway or whatever.
It's like, and then I was like, well, like, do you think that's better than the way I told you your dad died? That he was ripped to shreds by like large women or something like
Amazonian
that?
women or something. Yeah.
So he's like, I guess. So,
I like that this whole time that's how Smithers thinks his dad died, was ripped apart by Amazonian women.
So good. Golly, we're on a good run of episodes.
Hell yeah, we are.
I enjoyed this very much. And then, so that's kind of, Simpsons, they put a bow on things quick, but I guess that is the logical hope. They found out what the body story was. They got to the bottom of it. But there was a nice touch. They get back home. Mo is now Junior Detective Mo, and he's done all this detective work, not realizing that they have already come up with what happened.
Yep.
And they just kind of placate him like that's so pathetic.
Okay, let's see your clues, Mo. Oh,
he's a grown man.
Yep. In my head, Mo is 46 years old, and they're just like, those are nice clues.
That's nice. Yeah. Well done, Mo.
Episode 6 of season 13 is She of Little Faith. Starts off watching television, watching a thing that I know you're a fan of, rain delays. Rain delay theater. Yeah. They're watching some awful like Plan 9 from outer space, fucking Ed Wood ass black and white sci-fi movie.
Public domain sci-fi.
Yeah. Bart orders a model rocket off of the television because and like double checks with Lisa, is Dad's credit card number, and rattles it off, and she's just like, it is.
Yep. And I like too that it flashes on the screen after he orders it. It says 6 to 8 weeks later. It's like, remember when shit took weeks? That's crazy how that is not a thing anymore.
I remember ordering video games out of the Funko Land catalog, ordering NES video games.
And take a season to get to you. Oh, as a kid, things took weeks. And now it's like you get pissed if it takes 5 days.
Yeah, 5 days to get my fucking new mouse for my computer.
Insanity.
It's an outrage. I could just go to the store. I'm not going to, but I could.
This could happen.
Yeah, I could just go to Best Buy. I'm not gonna, but I could.
So I was thinking like, even the time I used to work at a place that sold, like, it was catalog sales, and in the 10 years I worked there, it was a revolution. And what it was is your competition would up their game. All of a sudden, it's like, who is suffering because of this? Oh, it's the workers. It's like there's Amazon people are just collapsing on their feet. Like
that's where they're making up all the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Is on the floor.
So I just like to picture how lackadaisical it was. It was you walking around with like a picnic basket in a warehouse. Ooh, maybe I'll put this in here. Did they want this? Oh, I'll figure it out later. Like
just looking at an order slip, just like, Well, I guess Jeremiah out in Wisconsin's gonna get his Phillips head screwdriver today.
Just this super healthy work environment where you stop and socialize with your coworkers. How are your kids? I mean, really, let's sit down and talk about them.
Well, how was David's baseball game?
You think they're adjusting?
Good? Good. Well, I suppose better get back to it. Back to the old grind. And now it's just
just lots of sobbing in the bathroom. Like I can't
slave
do
driving.
It.
But real gross.
Jeff Bezos needs more money. He's barely getting by.
You will piss in this Gatorade bottle because Bezos needs his Bezos bucks.
Other companies, you get like a mug with the company's name on it. At Amazon, you get an Amazon labeled piss jug with like a lanyard for you can have it on your belt.
Do we get some letterhead or a pen or anything? No.
Do we dump it out the window? We don't got time for that. Just pour it in this drain. It goes right to the boilers. So we're heating this place off boiled piss? What do you think? What did I just say?
What did you think that smell was?
God.
What if it's a toozy? We sell butt plugs. They're right there on the shelf. Grab one. Cork it up, buddy.
Yeah, you get an Amazon butt plug. You're expected to apply it before you punch in. Like you can do it at home or in the car. Either way, be plugged up.
As long as it's bird dogged by the time you clock in, baby.
We do not have time for you to go into the bathroom and plug yourself. That's a precious 25 seconds. It's cutting into our productivity.
That's something you're doing at home on your way out the door. Just like I got my keys, I got my wallet, I got my sunglasses. Where's my phone? I got my phone. Okay, got my Amazon got my Amazon sanctioned butt plug. All right, now I'm ready to leave.
It's like, the husband's like, oh shit, just quickly drops trowel, keister me, honey, and she just plugs him in, and then it's like
hands him his coffee. Good, have a good day. It's still like the 50s, but that's become part of it.
Honey, I make $9.75 an hour. We can't risk losing this. The 25-year mark, they'll pay for half my dental insurance.
I can get half my teeth looked at.
We can't risk it, honey.
Keister me, honey.
Honey, could you keister me? Oh, sure thing, hon. Still, just the slightest grimace on his face. You never
just a little one, It's never 100% gone.
I wonder if you are someone that gets blasted on a regular, like, do you ever, is it ever not like a who, like there's always gonna be like you,
is there always a reaction?
Well, maybe the who is what you're into,
right.
That's probably part of the enjoyment of it, like.
You're asking, is there ever a day where there's no reaction?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatsoever?
It's like the equivalent of like cracking your knuckles. It's just like, it's a thing that can be done, but like.
Is there ever a day where it doesn't even bring a smile to your face?
Like that you don't know what happened. Like, did you do it yet? Like, yeah, man, it's been in your ass for like all afternoon. Like, no shit.
I'll be damned.
Because I bet when it's up in there, the butt plug, the Amazon, you can probably. I've never mowed the lawn with a butt plug, but I bet you could. The entering and the exiting is, I think
that's half the appeal, is that you can go get stuff done during the day. Yeah,
you can go run to Aldi quick.
You know what I'm hearing is that you need to live a little.
Yeah, exactly, man. I find I don't have that persuasion very much. Like, I don't. Yeah, even if I did, though, I don't think I could reach my asshole well enough to confidently insert something into. Boy, there would be a weird setup of mirrors. Like, I would have to look into a mirror that's looking into a mirror, like a real.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I want to see my neighbor catch a glimpse of a mirror, and then in that mirror he sees another mirror, which has another mirror, which has my asshole. Like me, shaky hand, about to put a toothbrush up my ass. I just get so many from the dentist. I didn't want to spend money on a butt plug if I didn't like. That's not the issue. You gotta close the drapes, dude.
What are you doing? Kids in this neighborhood, close the drapes.
Oh, I've had to have told you this story before. I used to have a ground level apartment. I enjoy grilling in the summertime, and and I was about to cook dinner, and I on my Netflix queue, back then I was diligent about knocking movies off the queue, and this French movie that the critics were just creaming their jeans about that year was up next. Like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. I got time to watch a 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie. It's called Blue is the Warmest Color. Probably came out 6, 7, 8 years ago, and it was very good. But there are some fucking Katie bar the door lesbian sex scenes in it, because that's the movie's about a lesbian couple, and they're kind of like when they meet and when the relationship dissolves. Anyhow,
Sure.
this movie's on. I'm like, holy smokes, this is something. But now at that point during the movie is when I started grilling, and my neighbor was a super nice, I don't know, probably late 60s, early 70s Vietnam vet. I remember when he had his hat with all like the pins on it and stuff.
Sure.
He had a tiny little dog that was just his pride and joy. He'd always take him for walks in the grass. So he would walk 6 feet in front of my sliding door, which is fine because I like the guy. But I am grilling. And he's like, hey, how's it going? I go inside. All of a sudden, as he walks by, all I'm sure he hears is 2 women in the throes of hard fucking, just grunt like that. Like, it's not even like moans. It's like they're either fucking or moving furniture. It's guttural. And what does he think? It's like, what kind of freak is blaring pornography
It
at
is
6:45?
Yeah.
Earlier than that, that's what everyone thinks. Oh, it's dinner time. He's like, this guy, he can't contain his urges. He can't finish grilling them brats. He has to stop for a jerk session. I'm not gonna let him near my dog anymore.
Or like this excites him so little that he's able to grill during it.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does it
He's
take
so
to
jaded
start his motor?
that French women 69ing is just ho hum. That's his background. Some people watch Wheel of Fortune. He watches French lesbian
That's his
pornography.
background noise. That's his Paul Harvey. Is this lesbian pornography? Because he for sure didn't think, oh, that's probably a French film that has some erotic scenes in it.
Yeah, that
He
definitely did not
thinks you
cross
were
his
just
mind.
Watching porn cooking brats. Cooking sausages, which is ironic during this lesbian pornography.
Exactly. The sausage free. Oh my God. We are 4 seconds into this episode. What is going on right now? Not that we have ever been known for being taskmasters when it comes to the plot lines of these Simpsons episodes.
Also, this started with, boy, shipping times used to be long, didn't it? And here's where we
Which
got
could
to.
be a Paul Harvey episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I thought you were going to say could be the title of a lesbian porno. Boy, shipping times used to be long. Bow, bow, bow.
I almost tried to do a sultry French accent. I didn't even know where to begin.
Oh, fuck. I wish you would have. I wish you'd have swung for
The
it.
only French I can do is the older sister in Home Alone. Was it Kevin? You're what the French call les incompetents. I don't even know if that's French. I just know they're going to France, and
Yep. they go
she
to
might be
Paris
butchering
in
it.
that
That's
one.
part of the joke.
I think that's what that is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
C'est la vie is about as far as I get with the French.
Ooh la la. It sounds very sultry when I say it that way. Ooh la la.
Yeah, there's really winds everybody up when you say it with no inflection.
Yeah. Woos the young ladies.
So Bart gets his model rocket in the mail after 6 or 8 weeks. He recruits Homer to help him build it, which is a bad idea. It explodes, and then Homer tries to build it again, and it explodes a second time.
Milhouse loses his eyebrows.
Yeah, Milhouse's eyebrows. I like Milhouse with no glasses. I like that it's just the black dot eyes.
Yeah.
I like how he's drawn with no glasses. Always have.
Do we see that in any other characters? Is it just the Milhouse family?
I think it's just Milhouse. Yeah, not that I remember anyway.
I think very early on, some of the random kids, if you'd see a group of kids like in a school scene, had those eyes.
Just the
Now that I
dots.
think about that, yeah.
Like maybe I could see Wendell having dot eyes if they ever drew him without glasses on.
Yep.
It really fits Milhouse somehow.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
we have 2 failed launches because it keeps exploding. Ned's next door, and theirs works fine. Like,
of course it does.
I
It's
love
so
these.
good.
Like, oh, it's going to be a perfect landing, and it comes floating down, lands in the box, and closes the box on top.
Yeah.
You ever get into any manner of model rocketry, any October sky shit?
No, and I mean, I don't know. I think even at a young age, I was always pragmatic with my money or what I wanted. Like, I knew I only had a certain amount of things I could get for Christmas. That wouldn't have appealed to me enough to shoot my wad on it.
Sure.
And on that note, I also never got into model cars or planes.
I had a model car.
I had friends
phase.
that
Yeah.
loved. For me, it was just like I'd look at the box. I'd look at the fucking dicked up job I did on the Jesus Christ, looks like I painted with my thumbs. I would get angry. Like, God damn it. The closest I got to models, and I did enjoy this, was when you bought a G.I. Joe vehicle. You had to put it together. It came fairly unassembled. And because I've never been able to paint. Like, so that was the thing that killed me with models. It was like a lot of it's painting. Like, it just, G.I. Joes, it's all stickers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all, stars and flags and, I don't know, what other, cobras?
I built a handful of model cars in my like early teens or late single digits.
Yeah.
And I think I learned early on that painting also wasn't for me, but I'm assuming it was my mom swooped in just fucking spray paint it. And we got spray paint, which
That's very
fucking
pragmatic.
life hack. That totally works. But then where I always ran into trouble was the decals. Like the last thing, you put all this work into it, and then the last thing is the decals. And it's always that bullshit like soak it in a bowl of water to peel it off, to slide it off the paper, and then get it set just right on the
fucking
car.
hard.
I made so many fucing Camaro SS's with crooked ass racing stripes.
I bought giant Chevy bow ties for the back windows of my pickup, but they weren't a solid. If you picture like a solid, but it was just like an inch of trim that made the bow tie.
Oh,
but it was like
sure.
18 inches by 12. So that fucking
That's a
floppy ass
big
thing.
fucking that's
And I was trying to do it in outdoors, and it's fucking windy. I remember like. So my temper, I remember wanting to kick the back windows out of my pickup. Just me screaming fuck at my mom is like calling social services. Like he's scaring us. Like, I don't know why he needs those bow ties. He never likes to dress up.
Yeah, I could never
I'm like feeling angry thinking about that right now.
like I can do like now, like I can paint, I can draw, but still get me to put a fucking sticker on straight.
Yeah.
No, I may as well set it on fire. I'm nothing I have has stickers on it.
Like I'm bad. Yeah, I can't eyeball shit like that very well. Like,
Yeah, same here.
or the trouble might be that I'm always just eyeballing it. Like, you could get a ruler or a level. You own both those things.
That's the thing. Anytime I need to hang something or anything, it's like we need 2 pencils and all of the tape measures we can find.
Yeah.
We're in a markup. We're getting graph paper involved. And I think half my shit is still hung crooked in here. So, Homer, of course, is pissed that Ned's rocket works fine. We get to see his nerd friends from
that
the
was
college
nice.
episode.
I thought a nice touch was they did all the work.
Yeah.
And then during the launch, they had to leave. They're like, hey, if you guys could get out of here.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Like he just kicks them out after they do all the work. I love the melodrama of Nibbles the hamster gonna go to space.
Yeah.
Leaves his hamster wife with 5 kids, and he's got his little helmet on doing the slow motion hero walk to the rocket. Like
Getting on that elevator.
Yeah.
That elevator cracked me
I
up.
love all that shit. Maybe it's just because I love Armageddon. I love that movie so much. And I was like, it's like Armageddon.
This is jumping ahead a little bit too, but I love how when he's up there and the ship starts going a little askew and Homer's radioing him those directions, what to do. Just pull the blue lever. He explains what it'll do.
Yeah.
He looks at that, and he looks at that big eject button, and he headbutts it.
it, yeah.
God, that cracked me up. And he just softly floats to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, Nibbles lives to fly another day.
I love how they shot that whole thing. Like they shoot it like they're shooting a space movie. You know what I mean? Like the direction of it, like the fucking walkway falling away as it launches.
Yeah.
Like it's very well done.
Homer has those like black solid frame glasses of like a 1960s NASA engineer.
looks like Ed Harris in Armageddon. I love that shit. Nibbles ejects and lives to see another day. The rocket, in the meantime, destroys the church. Like,
it does a real number on that church.
It crashes in a window, and then you get a lot of like cartoon bullet ricochet sound effects and some organ music because it hits the organ apparently, and a few small fires. Like the church is all fucked up.
And then it comes out another window, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes out another window.
Again,
So now the church is destroyed, and Marge says, "This is the worst thing you've ever done." And then I'm pretty sure she says that again in the next episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, so the church is all fucked up. They get a group of people together. It's Marge and Reverend Lovejoy, and I think Agnes Skinner is there.
Yep.
And who swoops in to save the day to help him fix it up? Third episode in a row, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, that was sure nice to see.
We are getting Burns in these episodes. He shows up, wants to run it like a business, and that includes gambling, like blackjack on Tuesdays, and a ton of sponsorships.
Yeah. I think it's Reverend's robe reads Fatso's Hash House.
Yep.
God, I got a crack out of that.
That's a good diner name. I would eat at Fatso's Hash House.
Happily eat. Or they have that Jumbotron, and it says the God Cab. Like,
God
Lisa,
Cab.
quit sulking. You're on the God Cab. And she looks all sad and kind of more just depressed and angry. And it says Pouting Thomas.
Yep.
God, that's a good joke.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a great fucking joke. I like that the whole inside of the church just looks like a fucking NASCAR car. You know, it's just filled with some businesses we haven't seen in a while, like the Frying Dutchman has a sponsorship in there. Glad they got ad budget to be able to advertise in the church. And I like that right on the front of the pulpit is the rotating signboard, like the billboards used to be before digital.
Watch Ally McBeal, which is funny because it was probably on at that time. Yeah. And is it at this point do we get the Noid?
And the fucking Noid shows up. Hell yeah.
And actually see him. I was just reading about the Noid because I was like, what are we? Because it's back. The Noid's fucking back.
You and I talked about the Noid like 2 weeks ago on this podcast.
Because it's mentioned in that one episode, like, avoid the Noid. He hates pizza.
He ruins pizzas.
He ruins pizzas. The Noid was this close to having a CBS Saturday morning kids cartoon show.
Holy shit.
Like, it was in the bag. But then someone on the 11th hour watched it and said, oh, this is a half-hour Domino's commercial every episode. So they just canceled it. Like, even though they took it in the shorts financially, we're going to eat so much shit for this because this is such the unapologetic shilling of pizzas to children. Like,
well, it's not like I wouldn't think that would prevent them from doing that. Fucking all the cartoons were toy commercials. Fucking Transformers, He-Man, Ninja Turtles. They're all toy commercials.
That's why all of them have a 20-second PSA hot glued to the
winners
end.
don't do drugs shit
like,
at the end. Yeah.
Just just roadblock Pope like, wash your ass, kids.
Wash your party holes, as you, a term that you've coined in the past, which will be our first T-shirt any day now. Wash your party holes.
With Roadblock, that would be good. There's a stern Roadblock. I'd listen to Roadblock if he gave me life advice.
Lisa, disgusted by the businessification of all of the church stuff, so she kind of stomps out of the church and she's on the search for a new religion and stumbles onto the Springfield Buddhist Temple. Has whatever you need. And I like that Lenny and Carl are Buddhists. For some reason, that makes sense in my head.
It's Lenny and Carl, And Richard Gere.
Those are the three people.
And normally I would be salty about it, but Richard Gere was, at this time, he's getting to the end of his days as an A-list star, but he was known as Buddhist. Like, so it's like,
that was a big thing for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense, because honestly, if you're a Simpsons writer and you want to crowbar a celebrity in here and you know, and you think to yourself, who's a Buddhist celebrity?
Yeah.
Name another one besides Richard Gere, who's not the Dalai Lama. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
not a lot of that list of Buddhist celebrities is pretty short.
I'm sure Madonna had a summer where she was a Buddhist.
I'm sure. I think she's gotten the whole sampler platter at this point. Wings and mozzie sticks.
Yeah, mozzies. Right. Oh, and then a foray into Buddhism. Interesting. Yeah.
So she kind of gets a quick rundown of what Buddhism's all about, and now Lisa's a Buddhist.
Yeah.
And the town is not into it.
Yeah. They are, Marge in particular not into it, and the rest of the church and the community. It's not a big fan of Buddhism.
Yeah, Lovejoy says something in that church meeting along the lines of like, and next on the agenda, Marge's devil daughter. Yeah. It's like, okay, let's take it easy.
Yeah.
Like, Buddhism is like the least offensive religion.
Yeah,
like, it's what a religion to come after.
Yeah.
You know? So their idea ends up being, this apparently aired around Christmas. This was kind of the Christmas special, like the unofficial Christmas episode. The idea is to like try to turn Lisa back using Christmas as a weapon. Yeah. Like, Marge is cooking Christmas cookies and then throws them in the garbage right in front of her. Oh, well, you're a Buddhist now, so you can't have those. And then Bart starts eating them out of the garbage, and he's shoveling them into his mouth, and then suddenly he's like, oh, God, I think I swallowed a tin can lid.
What does he call them? Trash cookies?
Yeah, trash cookies.
Oh, my God. There is another scene there's back to back where I was just dying. The trash cookies, what I have noted, oh boy, trash cookies. Like, it's a common thing. And before that is when Bart's in school and Lisa's a devout Buddhist, and the bullies confront him, and they're like, what's this about your sister? And it's like, not believing in Jesus or whatever. Like, what? It's like, well, you know, man. He gives like lines like, he's a long-haired, barefoot carpenter with some far-out ideas. And the other bully, his name is Gunner. He's dating my mom.
That's right. I forgot about that scene.
He goes, sometimes he buys us beer.
Yeah.
And then Bart's like, I thought he was dating your mom, and it's one of his friends.
Yeah, the bald bully.
They all pile on the bald bully.
Pile on and beat him up.
Yeah. His name is Gunner.
He's dating my mom.
Oh, God damn it. I laughed at that.
That's funny. Yeah, good call. I had forgotten about that.
Because I think it's like Nelson's the one that's talking about, and he's saying it the way like a youth pastor would.
Yeah.
Some long hair and barefooted carpenter who's got some far out ideas.
So they're trying to turn Lisa with all this Christmas shit. She comes downstairs and there's just straight up a pony in wrapping paper. Yeah. And I love that Lisa's like in the middle of giving this like, listen, no, this is a waste of your time. I'm a Buddhist. Is that a pony? Like immediately, I know how you love a Lisa pony thing.
We had been a hot minute since we gotten some Lisa pony talk.
Yeah.
And we were that the love is rekindled. So are we gonna get a her and the Coreys eventually? We're overdue.
Do the Coreys come back?
We're on like almost a decade-long absence from a Coreys reference.
Who in 2001 is on the cover of Non-Threatening Boys?
Yeah. If Jonathan Taylor Thomas still might have been passed.
Thing?
Oh, dude, the boy bands.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Like, the boy,
Joey Fatone.
Yeah, Joey Fatone, the NSYNC. Well, maybe had some LFO. You would have had some 98 Degrees.
Mm-hmm. Do Casey and or JoJo make the cover of Non-Threatening Boys?
I don't think so. I think they were more R&B than pops. I just don't think they were a teenage girl thing. Usher, probably. A young Usher might have appealed to... I'm trying to think who would be some black dudes that would have been like appealing to teens, because it can't be all just white boy banders. There had to be some R&B and I'm trying to think. Rap was getting pretty safe by that point, but I don't know if any of them that 8-year-old girls. 8-year-old girls weren't hanging up posters of Mace, you know, like Puff Daddy.
8-year-old girls weren't into Eminem.
Yeah. You know who else? Aaron Carter. And, I thought of the rapper, Lil Bow Wow.
Oh, sure.
Lil Bow Wow would have been right around that time. Yeah.
Was Devin Sawa a non-threatening boy still at this point?
Probably. Yep. He would have been, I think his window was pretty short, but he might have still been.
What two middle-aged men sitting in an apartment trying to rattle off as many underage hunky boys from 20 years ago as we can.
Yeah, someone's doing a first cut of hay right now, working their ass off. And we're sitting in the dark talking about Devin Sawa.
My upstairs neighbor's calling the police.
Yeah. You do a welfare check. Nerds below me are giving me the creeps.
I like that as soon as Lisa is out of the room, it's revealed that the pony is actually Ralphie and Milhouse.
They want more sugar cubes.
Yeah. Is the 2-person horse costume a real thing, or is that a only on TV thing?
I actually think nowadays with the proliferation of Halloween warehouses, I think you could probably score one of those.
Because I think maybe you and I need to go somewhere as a horse.
Ooh, I don't know if I got the core strength to be hunched over.
I don't know that I got the back for it anymore.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the agony in my back. I would have to rest my upper half on like a walker with wheels. So it'd be more like we'd have to do like a 6-legged beast.
What the fuck is that? Oh, it's two guys who are too old to do this, refusing to take no for an answer is what it is.
One of the monsters from Starship Troopers. I don't know. To make it more bug-like.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah. Come to our Halloween party.
Richard Gere, Lisa kind of goes off running looking for Richard Gere's sage-like advice. And he basically tells her, like, yeah, you can still participate in Christmas and all of the Christian things. You can still go to church and still be a Buddhist. Who cares? And so basically that's it. She goes home to her family and continues taking part in all the Christian shit. But is still a Buddhist. So I wonder if this will keep being a thing, like with her being a vegetarian. Like, is Lisa still a Buddhist in the next episode? You know?
Yeah, I almost think maybe she is. Yeah,
I would imagine so.
It seems like something that's part of her character now.
Yeah. I mean, if they're sticking with Barney is still sober, they're probably going to stick with Lisa still Buddhist.
That's a good catch. Yeah,
I
would think it'll be interesting to see.
You know me, I like a Lisa episode. This episode did not do a ton for me. I thought that this was maybe the weakest of the 5.
God, week. I say that, but man, I did. I don't even think I think I liked this. Like, looking back, just looking at my notes, the Nibbles getting headbutting the eject button, the pouting Thomas, Fatso's hash house, Milhouse losing his eyebrows, and that thing with the bullies just killed me. Trash cookies, man. I think I'm on board with this episode.
Yeah,
look at me being the optimist.
Yeah, this was like I've said before, I wasn't sitting here watching with my arms crossed, just like no. Just every joke you just shout no at your television alone in your apartment. But it was just as a whole, I was like, this is fine.
Yeah,
but it's not my favorite.
Oh, man. On the subject of episodes that are good is the goddamn next one.
Fucking A, it is.
This would be 7?
Yes.
Brawl in the Family?
Yeah, that's the one.
We haven't seen this in a while, the flashback to the Transylvania-esque headquarters of the Republican Party.
So good.
Yeah, and they're talking about what they can do next for more world domination. We get a Ralph Nader dig. Yeah. Digging on Nader, which I'm a Nader boy, so did you get all bristled? My hackles were risen. I had to unrise my hackles after this.
Don't be rising Nathan's hackles. No one knows what that means.
The Simpson writers are going to find out.
More people know what keister means than hackles, for sure.
I would say. Oh, my God. Yeah, I would definitely say. But I was all riled up. And then, well, I don't even know how it comes about. They just kind of decide to kind of outlaw recycling. Just basically thumbing their noses at the fact that they're just wantonly going to destroy the planet.
Yeah, what shit-ass thing are we going to do? Let's repeal all the environmental laws.
They change Smokey the Bear to Choppy the Lumberjack?
Yeah, bear with a chainsaw.
Nature's perfect predator. And because of these actions, acid rain rains like, are you old enough to, when I was like 10, 11, 12, acid rain was like the number one concern of environmentalists.
I feel like I saw it like in magazines in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
You know?
So
like,
what happened? Like, did we do something to help?
Did we fix acid rain?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of like when at that same time, and I was that age, I remember hearing about the ozone layer was depleting.
The hole in the ozone,
That's going to be the end of us all. But hey, we quit using aerosol hairspray and we solved it. Good job.
Yeah.
Funny.
We came together and fixed CFCs.
Isn't it insane that if that were to happen today, a lot of the Trump dogs out there,
nothing would get done.
Just being contrarians, would refuse to stop. They don't even use any CFC products, but they would refuse to do it just out of some kind of idiotic principle.
And they would start using CFC products.
So you'd see all these middle-aged men in polo shirts with giant Bon Jovi hair, you know, like.
And you'd see, like, Facebook would be nothing but fucking, like, American flag tank top Trump dogs, Winnie the Pooh in it, helicopter, and their dick shooting fucking Aquanet into the air.
Or instead of rolling coal, it'd be like spraying rain. Just have white rain hairspray out the window, screaming, "Get her done!"
Suck it, libs. Yeah, that's precisely what it would be.
Burn it all.
Yeah, that's the thrilling final season of America.
Yeah, holy shit, man. We've jumped the shark to unplug us immediately.
Save us, somebody.
Save the rest of the world from us.
I don't know about you. I got my eye on Sweden.
Yeah.
I think Gothenburg seems like a nice city.
Let me in, please.
Hello. One of the good ones, I swear.
I'll wear wooden shoes. That's not Sweden. Fuck.
Are we big enough in Ireland that Ireland would take us in?
Sweet angels of Ireland, open your gates.
I'll learn all the words to Danny Boy. Is that Scottish, maybe, actually? I don't know. I love Enya. Let me in.
He's rattling off tons of shit. I love Dropkick Murphys. They're from America.
Yeah, that's Boston.
So the acid rain causes them to be trapped inside the house. So they decide, kind of have a rainy, family day in. And I do like they on the TV, they're watching Blind Date.
Yeah.
And Mo he's on the show and he's like, he just kind of like calmly talks like, yeah, I think the date went okay.
I would go out with her again.
It cuts to her. She just goes, he smells like puke. God, that's a good response from a blind date. He smelled like puke.
Oh god!
And this got me nostalgic, not so much for like Blind Date, but I loved those fucking MTV dating shows of that same era.
Trash ass MTV dating shows. Next
was Date My Mom was either the nadir or pinnacle, depending on how you look. That show insanely scripted, but it was so over the top, outrageous. God, I love Date My Mom.
My favorite memory of Next, because I was freshman in college in 2003, so like I was watching that shit at 11:30 at night when I should be sleeping, because I got fucking algebra at 8 a.m. that I'm about to flunk out of. And I remember one episode. It's the one girl and then the bus full of guys, and like the next dude got like 1 foot on the sidewalk is all the further he got, and she from a distance is next.
Yes, I remember
like
that.
holy shit, just the worst shallow horrible television.
And I loved Room Raiders too.
Holy shit, I had forgotten about Room Raiders.
I read like a retrospective on Room Raiders like 15 years after the fact. You knew it at the time, just how blatantly fake it was, because it'd be like a normal run-of-the-mill freshman dorm room, and then there's a fucking pillowcase full of butt plugs. Like, oh, this is weird. Like, that's what
he for sure didn't have that in here.
Why'd you have so many human toes in that jar? I don't know, babe.
Oh, she's got tank tops. She's got a lot of books, so she's clearly reading. Is this a bloody knife?
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking horrible. I think I watched most of that shit waiting for the next Pimp My Ride to come on. Like, there's an hour block that starts in 20 minutes, and I don't want to get up to change the channel.
There's been some write-ups on that show, too, about how shady that was. Yeah.
Bonkers.
Like how X to the Z exhibitors completely disavowed the show. Like, hey, it was a paycheck, like... So yeah, and I thought that shit, like, looking back though, it was so fucking dumb. Just put some fresh paint on that car. Does he need a fucking popcorn maker in it? How much fucking popcorn does this kid eat? He needs his own theater-sized industrial popcorn machine. He can only put 2 people in that car. There's more room for popcorn than humans.
My favorite thing about that show is the complete lack of foresight. They just put things in those cars without thinking about, hey, this thing we put in this car someday is going to stop working. And then what a pain in the dick it's going to be to replace it or get rid of it. We put this PS2 and this CRT TV in the back of this guy's Subaru. Like, no one thought about future-proofing. Nobody. They just threw whatever they had.
You're telling me it would be hard to find 2 tube TVs small enough to fit in the headrest of a Nissan? That seems like something you can find anywhere.
We weren't rolling LED screens just yet, man. And that was right in the middle of somewhere on the road, there's a Honda Civic that still has a GameCube in it.
Absolutely there is.
But they mounted it in there in such a way the guy can't take it out. It hasn't run for 10 years.
I'd love to see a picture collection of the Pimp My Ride cars that are still on the road.
Yeah, I'd love to see that shit.
Like, if I had fuck you money, I'd buy one. Just to laugh. Like, fuck, remember that episode?
Just to have it, and then I would have the episode.
Yeah.
Like, here you go, check this out.
I would have that playing on a loop on one of the CRT TVs in the car. Like,
inside the hatchback, yep.
There's no way to do this without being racially problematic, but that's always a good beginning. But I would buy that car and drive Uber in it dressed like Xzibit. This is some uncanny valley shit, huh, player?
I'm canceling my ride. You can let me out here.
Oh, just calm down. X gonna give it to you. It's on the house.
It was popcorn?
We got a fuck ton of it.
This popcorn maker hasn't been washed in 10 years.
The windows are opaque from all the butter
popcorn grease.
Yeah. It's really hot back here. Here you go. Take a single of this jam from 1998.
The leather on the steering wheel's all worn away from popcorn butter over the years.
Or no,
fingers are always greasy.
It had to be a furry steering wheel conversion. Now it's like
now it's matted down.
Yeah, it's like mottled.
Looks like you left a Muppet in the rain.
Like a sick bird.
Looks like when your dog finds something dead and rolls in it. Oh my god.
Ooh, X really gave it to this car.
I like that you only know one Xzibit song.
I would have to go through all this work and not do it. The little bit of work it would take to learn more about Xzibit.
Oh fuck. Oh god. You don't know The Gambler. You don't know Bite Me, Scratch Me, Pull My Hair. You just know X. Also, X Gonna Give It To You is a DMX song.
And someone calls me on that fucking just, fuck, is it really? I mean, sup. I just get an Uber here. God damn it, this blackface is leaking into my eyes. You want to drive? Watch out for that fish tank. That glass is real iffy. Don't slam that door. Those beta fish will fuck you up.
None of these Rockford Fosgate speakers even work anymore. They're all blown out.
There's just so many amps. It's like 120 degrees in there.
Plus this popcorn maker. Holy shit. Stripped all the paint off of my 8-ball shifter knob with this popcorn grease.
These fucking braids are so tight. I gotta pay someone to do it. They're trying to tell me where to go. I'm just bitching about my current condition.
Your self-imposed racially insensitive costume that you're complaining about.
I'm driving Uber in Atlanta. I'm wearing a 4XL flannel Carl Kanai shirt. I didn't think this through, you guys. You're going the opposite way.
I've never been in this city before. Sorry.
Yeah. I got here today to buy the car. I bought this car 45 minutes ago. When I showed up to buy it, I was already dressed like this. I think he knew I was pot committed. He doubled the asking price.
He knew I wasn't going to leave without it.
The stewardesses told me they wouldn't let me back on the plane.
Without this car, I'm just a guy in blackface.
This really ties the plot together.
This is the Lebowski run. This blackface.
You know what they say? X really gave it. No, that's not even his song.
That's still not.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Please turn it. We're hitting the city limits. Please turn around.
Oh God! Would you please take the freeway and get this ride over with?
This isn't street legal.
No,
I can't go near
to
the freeway.
Popcorn. I told you so many times I don't want popcorn.
Oh fuck!
Holy shit!
Oh, good times.
Oh God! Oh, I'm crying. I got fucking tears running down my face. After about the third X gonna give it to you reference you made, I had to break the news.
Oh God damn it! So do I even know one of his songs then?
Oh, you probably know X.
That's it.
If
then.
you know one song, it's
what's the chorus to X?
I have no idea.
I get mystical and Xzibit mixed up in my head. I don't know why.
Mystical with a K.
Yeah. In my head, I often conflate the two of them. I think they're kind of popular at the same time. He was Shake Your Ass, right?
Yeah, Mystical is Shake Your Ass.
Yeah.
Watch Yourself.
That's a good song.
That's a good song.
I
Yeah.
get behind that. Yeah.
I've
what you're working with.
I've heard it too many times working in a titty bar as many years as I did.
Fuck yeah. Holy yeah.
Which, same goes for X and The Gambler by Xzibit and Bite Me, Scratch Me, Pull My Hair by Xzibit.
Xzibit was that big amongst the erotic dancing community?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I mean, those are that's a certain flavor of erotic dancing because those are all pretty aggressive songs. You know, there's not a lot of smooth hip action. There's a lot of bring your face in here. I'm gonna slam it with my groin.
My good smelling titties.
A lot of wrecking ball titty action with Xzibit.
What do you think this good smelling stuff that strippers put on their bosoms? There's some kind of baby powder that smells good.
I'm sure it's just perfume or body spray.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's a unique smell.
Knowing what I know about strippers, having been working there that long, is that it was definitely less fancy than you think it is.
Oh, okay,
you can probably find it at Target. Yeah. You know.
They got to be cost conscious. They're independent contractors.
Yeah, not a secret product in an exclusive club for fucking sure.
Back to The Simpsons. They are deciding what board game they are going to play.
Whew.
And there was a good gag because it's known there are many different variations of Monopoly, any pop culture thing. And they're going through the different versions they have that Edna Krabappel cracked me up so much.
Edna Krabappel.
They don't even mention it really, or they just gets a passing mention. Like
Edna Krabappel having her own Monopoly is very funny.
Yeah.
So, and that's totally true. And like that's the different versions of Monopoly is like the most bald-faced capitalistic thing, because it's just like everyone has a board we're not going to sell anymore. So how do we do that? I don't know, fucking Chicago Bearsopoly. Like that's the only way you can sell more of them.
Oh my God, yeah. And I'm trying to think. I don't think we had one beat up version of Monopoly in the full. No, we did have a Monopoly Junior at one time, which I don't even remember how that worked. The dumbed down,
just not as
easier
much
math. Yeah, but that's what it is though. Now you say that, yeah. I to this day love Monopoly.
I was about to say, Marlin, fun fact, I love Monopoly.
And I discovered that my family and most everyone I knew growing up played it wrong. We played, let's say you're up.
Okay.
You roll, you land on St. Charles Place.
Does anyone own it?
It's open.
Okay.
You have an option to buy it.
Yep.
You refuse, it's over. Next turn. The way you're supposed to play.
Not the right way. Yep.
It goes up for auction.
Yep.
And everyone else, the other remaining players, can bid on it.
Just the other remaining or all of us? Because, like, what I learned later in life the proper way, like, okay, it's you, me, and our friend Joe playing. I land on it, don't buy it. Now it goes up for auction between all three of us, not just you two. Is how I
okay, so it's a free for all.
Right. Is how, and like knowing that now, fuck, those games didn't have to take the 10 hours they used to.
Yeah.
Like, because now people are owning shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because the one downfall, the way I played growing up, sometimes it would happen that no one would get a Monopoly because everyone owned such a smattering. So it's like, well, fuck. We're never going to bankrupt.
We're all just going to give each other $25 every roll. And
we're going to keep getting $200 every time we cross. We're going to be able to survive the lean period. It's like, I don't know, it's like corporate harmony instead of monopoly, like, hey, we're all getting by.
Socialism.
Hey, we're doing it. Yeah, you can't own too many yellow properties. Come on now, share a little.
I love Monopoly.
Yeah.
We weren't really a board game family. We were a Yahtzee family, and then cards and dice games, but never much for board games.
We had a handful.
I came into board games a little later, like Monopoly, chess. I'm a big chess player. I love Scrabble.
Well, we had in the Full Smokehouse, I know we had Monopoly. We had a checkerboard. My dad would occasionally get the wild hair and want to play checkers, and I was usually the
same here. That's a dad game.
Yep, and I do enjoy checkers to this day because it's quick. You can get checkers done pretty quick.
It's easy.
Yep.
You can knock a game out without having to look away from your phone too much.
Yeah. We had a Super Pop-O-Matic Trouble game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's with the dice and the cube.
With the ball.
Moving the dome. And I don't know if we had Sorry. I know all my cousins did. And then we had Pictionary. I don't think we had Win, Lose, or Draw, but we had Pictionary. We had a game called Balderdash. That was more of that must have been like a late or early single digits, early teens Christmas gift from me or my brother, because that's a more... That's not like gross. It's like, hey, here's a picture of a dog's asshole. It was like, it involves adult thinking skills to play.
Sure.
And then, my brother had something you might enjoy, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza party board game. I think some kind of pizza themed Ninja Turtles board game. You know me, I do love Ninja Turtles, Nathan. That's my jam. Which when I was home, I was like, do we still have that? I know people that would like that, I think that is eventually did not escape the rummage sale. The Grim Reaper of rummage sales hands. The garage sale party. Yeah. I like when you don't grow up playing a lot of board games, being an adult at a board game night is weird because it's
let's play Clue, and everyone knows what they're doing, and I'm just like, can you explain the rules?
I was an adult too, and the first time I played Clue, yeah.
I bet I didn't play Clue for the first time till I was probably 34 years old, and an 8-year-old handed me my ass at Clue within like 10 minutes.
I was in my mid-20s, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I to this day, like, I don't think I've ever played the Game of Life.
Oh, that's a game we did have.
You know, like so many of the classics I missed out on. But I got Monopoly and Scrabble. That's all I need.
Yep, we did have the Game of Life, which is a boring game. We also had Chutes and Ladders as a kid. And then I remember as a little kid getting shit like Candyland, but either me or my brother like ate the board. We're that little and just chew on it till it's useless.
I like to envision you playing Candyland now.
Yeah, like it's still eating the board. I get bored. Like just eating all the cards.
Like it's a fucking old Louis C.K. bit, but like Candyland is a soft ass board game. Yeah, like, there's no cutthroat in Candyland.
It's weird. Like I get a warm nostalgic feeling even talking about it, but like I was so little, I can't remember anything about. I have no concept of how it works in any way, except there's a board.
Yeah, moving around a board, trying to get from start to finish. Yeah, that's about all I remember. We also had Chutes and Ladders, now that I'm thinking about it.
My cousins had a French-Canadian version called like Serpents and something. And like, so the slides were replaced with snakes.
And then ladders with stairs,
whatever weird thing the French were into for
some
scaling.
Great value Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah, because they had Canadian cousins. Shit. It's like like getting the French Canadian stuff that they can't sell at their WalMarts. The shit is this?
Bring me all dressed chips, not this fucking bullshit board game.
Give me a shoebox of Aero bars for Christmas instead. I'm gonna get this. Oh, The Simpsons. Oh, one thing, while they're still talking about Monopoly, it's like how Marge is like skeptical of Monopoly because she thinks it's like this wild game. And the quote, I got to find it here.
I bet I have the same one written down.
How can an iron be a landlord?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, God, yeah. And they try to have a family night because of the acid rain, and it immediately just goes off the rails. Yeah. There's a great line where Lisa brings up something, and like, I'm not going to get into the college, and they're just chanting, "You're going to Stanford." You're going. That's so great.
Like that's a lowly college, and she's insulted. Like that is it's an effective insult.
Yeah. And I think is it the Flanderses that hear the commotion?
No, Maggie calls the cops.
That's what it is.
They're all
the phone.
Fighting. Yep. Yeah, and she's standing in front of the phone with the fire button and the ambulance button, and then the one button is Homer choking Bart. Yeah. And it's the cops.
And they're working on a musical version of it. Chief Wiggum is working on a musical with the inmates.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a domestic disturbance. We got to take this." He's like, "You guys, you just keep your cues. We'll be back."
I feel like you guys don't want it, and keep practicing. If you don't, he'll tell us he's a snitch, and then they beat his ass when they leave.
So because of this, they get a social worker assigned to kind of help make the Simpsons like functional again. And boy, that's a task. And this guy, he's in it to win it. He's good at his job. He's really committed to trying to get. And at first, it's kind of like he wants to get them out of their environment and kind of get out to nature. And we're going to break it down and build it back up again.
I like the ongoing joke with Gabriel, who's the social worker. I like the ongoing joke that Homer thinks he's an angel.
Yep.
I mean, is it maybe just because of the name, because of Gabriel the Archangel? I don't know. But that was very funny to me. That voice actor is Delroy Lindo. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah, I know him as the cop from Gone in 60 Seconds. Yep. I know he's done a lot more, but that's what I know him from.
I seem to remember him. I think he's in the movie Clockers, which is a random movie to reference, but
he was hella acclaimed for his role in, is it 13 Bloods or whatever that movie was a couple years ago?
Yep. I never saw, but I think you're right. Yeah.
I remember people being like, "Oh shit." I
like when guys like him get a chance to shine after, they've been doing it in kind of relative anonymity for decades.
To be a B+ student that whole time and then to really, really knock one out of the park.
So some kind of I don't even know what the goal of the exercise was. He puts like the food and the beer in a tree. Oh, it's they have to work together
to
get up there and get it. When Homer finds out there's beer in it, he just uses the family sedan to knock this giant tree down.
Just slams it in reverse, just slamming into the tree.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it does fall the tree, but the tree slides down the hill, goes off a cliff, dragging Gabriel with it. It somehow stops about halfway down between these two cliffs, and Gabriel's hanging very precariously. And now there's a bunch of, is it cougars?
Yep, cougars and wolves.
Are working together. and so and Homer's first idea is like, hey, as a family, we're going to leave him here and come up with an alibi, and we won't have to worry about this. We're going to work together.
That's his solution.
Yeah. So I do like, like I think Marge is gonna drive, then she hurts her foot. Like, you're gonna have to drive, Bart. Do you think you can handle it? Here's the keys. Already got my own.
Already got mine. Yeah.
He's just casually backing it up.
Yep.
I like that. Like,
I like they're all kind of working together, and Gabriel shouts up, "Hurry, because the animals have started working together too!" And the image of the
huddling.
wolves and cougars in a huddle with their like they're standing on their back legs with their arms across each other's shoulders in a football huddle.
like discussing a game plan.
Holy shit! I laughed at that. That's some like these are real Looney Tunes animals that really did it for me.
So the idea is they have tied a rope to the back of the car, and they're going to lower Homer, who will get Gabriel, and Bart will accelerate and pull them to safety. Which, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And they get him, but the animals are not giving up. So they're like making a human pyramid,
like a seesaw, and they're launching each other. You know, they're alternately launching each other up to try to get them.
And then finally, he's able to convince Homer to let the sandwiches go.
Yeah.
And so the sandwiches, like, it's like whatever they are. The falafel or whatever it is that Lisa orders.
Falafel.
And that isn't enough to pacify them, and they're still going after him. And then it's the beer is next, and Homer very reticent to give it the beer.
Yeah.
And what kind of beer is it again?
I forget
it's
what
referenced.
Yeah, it's not Duff.
It's Blatz.
Blatz.
It's Blatz.
There
It's
you
Blatz.
go.
Well, I don't want
Yeah,
Blatz.
yeah, and he throws it.
So it just gets a bunch of coyotes or cougars and wolves drunk.
Yeah.
And so then he doesn't give up. Or I almost thought he gave up after that. But no, Gabriel still wants to kind of find out how the family ticks. Mm-hmm. So I know he's in Moe's with Homer, and Homer's wasted. He's talking about his family, and his quote is so good. It's like, well, there's Bart, there's girl Bart, the one that doesn't talk, and the fat guy. He's referring. He's so drunk, he's seeing it like the second person. Like
that's from earlier in the episode when he's observing all of them individually.
That's what it is before they go to the woods. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that is a funny sequence. I like when he's observing Marge, and she's like, "I like to do 2 or 3 practice dinners because at 6 o'clock it's game time."
Yeah,
like,
that was good.
What
too.
the fuck?
Yeah.
After the woods thing, he's just in the car riding with them back to the house.
That's when he gives them like
and it's so wholesome. It's so like, you guys did it. You know, you came together.
And because at one point doesn't he lose faith in him, or am I wrong?
Right here when they get home and those 2 Vegas floozies are there.
Boy, this episode takes a 180.
This is such a weird turn. This is a hard corner, big time.
That's what, I remember wait, did I fast forward? And I mean, but I did like it. I thought that they got really good here. So it turns out that those weddings, they cannot be annulled. So, because they try, we see the judge, the hard ass judge lady.
Yep, played by the Malcolm in the Middle mom.
Yep, she tells
Judge Harm.
Yeah, that those Nevada weddings are pretty ironclad. So Homer is, terrified Marge is having none of it. So he makes Homer sleep. She makes Homer sleep outside. Ned, giving it the college try.
Yep, he's gonna make it work.
Of the best laughs.
Holy shit!
When they bring her coffee and breakfast in bed, she takes the coffee. Could you Irish this up? Like, we don't use the I word. So Irish is a slur
in the Flanders House, which has to be Catholicism related, right? Like, that has to be some of that old school American, we hate Catholics shit.
Totally,
And then where's my cigarettes? We threw your sin sticks down the toilet so they could go to hell.
Yeah.
Oh God.
God, that I'm gonna be sick. And like, who wants to hold mommy's hair? And they
I do. Both of them, of course. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's going back to the previous episode. There's a good gig too where Flanders just feels that someone's talking about another religion besides Christianity, and they go down into the root cellar.
Yeah,
and
it's.
When will we come out, Daddy? Like, possibly never. Yay! They're just happy to live in the root cellar.
And it's a big iron like submarine door with the knob in the middle. Yeah. This is it's during all this, like when Marge finds out about Homer's Vegas wife. This is where, for the second episode in a row, she says, "This is the worst thing you've ever done," which I laughed at.
Yeah, that scene too, where he goes and because he's kicked outside, he goes and lives in the treehouse. And she, the Vegas wife, goes up there too. She's making that sandwich. Yeah. And you hear all these very suggestive things.
Use both hands. Use faster.
Yeah. And Marge hears it. She looks very concerned. She's making him a sandwich.
Yep.
It
goes for a long time. And you think the joke is that she thinks they're fucking. Yeah. But she's just like, she knows those sounds.
She's made him enough sandwiches.
She's making him a sandwich.
Yeah. I think their names are Ginger and Amber.
Yeah, Amber is Homer's wife, and Ginger is Flanders.
I like how the kids start referring to her as Vegas Mom.
Vegas Mom, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, so the plan is they well, you don't really know it until you see the reveal.
Right.
Homer is brought into the house and gets a pretty serious tongue lashing, and then Homer leaves angry, like, hey, I can only say I'm sorry so many times and meet it. So he's basically, and he is like, okay, screw you guys. And him and the new wife, they go to Moe's. Ty went on. She's awesome when she's drunk. Yeah. Just a mess.
Just plastered. Why don't you make the next one a sex on the beach and hold the beach?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she wakes up in bed in the treehouse next to Grandpa.
Yep.
So that
Grandpa Abe.
Get her drunk and have her drunkenly marry Abe. So that's their way. And she's, what the hell? I don't want to be married to this old man. She thought she had a good thing by having Homer kind of trapped in a marriage. So she's ready to bail. At the same time, Ginger's ready to bail because the Flanderses are just
too much.
Too big of squares.
Yeah.
She is not about that life. And they want her there. They are happy to have her. Yeah.
The kids in particular.
Yeah. Oh, those kids. God, this episode was good.
Yeah. Rod and Todd are borderline creepy. Yeah. I find Rod and Todd weirdly disconcerting.
Yeah. They are very, very weird. So yeah, that's kind of the end. And God
that's
damn it.
That's pretty much it. It kind of just wraps. Yeah. There's a joke earlier on where when the cops first show up to the domestic when they're playing Monopoly and that fucking top hat comes crashing through the window and Wiggum picks it up on the tip of a pencil. Yeah. And it's like, how do these Parker brothers sleep at night? Fuck, that's
God, that is good, yeah.
And then there's another one where Homer's at the bar talking about how miserable he is after Amber comes back and Lenny or Carl, I don't remember which, says like, oh, I thought a man with two wives would be really happy. And the other one, whichever is the one that didn't say that, is like, no, you're thinking about knives. And it cuts to Moe just standing holding two knives going,
very content.
This is pretty great, you guys. Holy shit.
Yeah, that is good. Well, we did it.
We cranked out.
God, those were like, I hope this wasn't just an oasis in a desert of mediocrity, because God, I could use a couple more weeks this good. Like these were, so far the critics are right. This season is starting off good.
Yeah, this batch, like I said, I think the Lisa Buddhism one is the weak one, but even that one is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this batch, and we're on a fucking like, other than like, oh, that one bit in the Treehouse of Horror this year wasn't great. Yeah. Like, other than a couple of little hiccups, we're on like a fucking, I'm gonna say 3 to 5 week stretch of this podcast of pretty fucking good episodes.
Where it's been more hits than misses, I'd say. Yeah.
So the people that said, oh, it sucks after 10, like, you're already wrong.
Yeah. is, I mean, some of these episodes, they could be in season 6.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
like, I laughed. I don't know, man, maybe not quite, but like it would have maybe felt like a mediocre season 6 episode, which is still amazing.
Which is still good,
yeah. Like
I think I mentioned it last week or the week before. I think that like the big picture premise of the episode, I think, is not what's doing it for me, but we're back to the minute-to-minute jokes, the little jokes that are still so fucking good.
That makes sense, yeah.
And it's getting ridiculous. Like the whole sequence with Nibbles the astronaut would not have been in season 6. Like they wouldn't have done something like that. So like they are letting themselves be a fucking animated show.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Same with the cougars and wolves in a hole. Like, there's some outlandish stuff that wouldn't have been in those earlier seasons, and I have zero fucking problem with it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Even that Buddhism app, God, there's some stuff in that Buddhism one that made me laugh too. Like the whole his name is Gunner. He dates my mom. That pause. Sometimes he buys us mirror.
Yeah.
Your mom's dating a barefoot carpenter with far out ideas.
What I liked about that scene is once they jump on Kearney or whatever the fucking bald one's name is, and they start beating him, Bart watches for a second and then smiles and dives in and starts fucking punching on him. I thought that was funny. Yeah, it was a good batch. Hell of a good batch. Yeah. So I look forward to more of that. Next week, I guess we can keep doing the show. You want to keep doing the show? What are you feeling? Tell me how you feel.
Stopping in season 13 would be some kind of bad karma.
That's bad juju. We can't do that. So, yeah.
So stay tuned for our final season 14. We're going to wrap it up. Our pressing social lives do not allow us time to do a podcast anymore.
I have thoroughly enjoyed doing it this way, face to face.
Yeah.
We're both vaxxed boys, and
I'm not.
And we're all COVID free, and so now we can sit in this cold apartment. I do got it set a little cold, which I'm enjoying, and do a fucking podcast.
Not crouched over. I mean, I do miss the lack of. I do miss having more, millipedes and centipedes. I wish there was more. I wish there was more flora. Is that the right term, or fauna?
Fauna. Flora is plants.
Plant life. There we go. Yeah. I need more fauna to truly. Can we paint over these windows?
Sure.
I need to get a more.
Yeah.
Subterranean feel.
I should have accommodated you by closing the curtains. It never occurred to me. I got curtains open, all the lights on. I should have drawn those. I should get some humidifiers going.
Just some 5-gallon pails of water with no covers on. Just
let them sit for a few weeks outside so we get some mosquito eggs in there.
We have a troubling lack of mosquito larvae.
You want a good film, a good scum on top of that. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and let's do it again next week. Episodes
8 through 12?
8 through 12, because it always looks like 4.
Yep.
So, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of season 13. You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can email the show, barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. Keep looking for your Pimp My Rides. We're going to keep watching basketball. Basketball's still happening. Dunks. We're down to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Who are you sitting on right now? Not your predictions, but your wants. If you're betting with your heart.
Definitely want Phoenix to make it out of the West.
I'm sorry, am I boring you?
Oh, yeah. I definitely want Phoenix to make... Oh, but I am on, I think, 3 hours of sleep on purpose because I want to be dead-ass tired for the sleep study.
Oh, a reset. Yeah. Sleep study.
Yeah.
You get to go get all the wires on you?
I get to get my face mounted by a robot. I think that's how it works. They pump their sweet air down into my face holes so I don't die as much when I sleep.
Is it just like an alien alien face hugger.
Yeah. I was thinking like it's like the mouthpiece, but it's bigger, and they just have taped legs to the side of it that just dangle. Like it's like you make this so creepy and erotic for a reason. I don't know. Like we used to have a guy that worked here who was a real loose cannon. We haven't bothered changing it.
I bet this isn't how it goes because I've never done one. But like besides you, I know plenty of friends who've had sleep studies done. I for sure should get one done. I'm fully aware. But in my head, it is a bare white room with a bed in it, like a twin bed, and then a one-way glass window for them to observe you through. And I like the idea of you laying there underneath this fucking animal with its throat hose and you just being like, you guys mind if I crank one out real quick? Like, is that
helps me sleep?
Right? Helps me sleep. I like the idea of not only you doing it, but asking first because you're a polite boy.
Oh, when I crank it out, it always wakes me up. I thought you said, mind if I get up and dance a little? Just doing a little like jitterbug by myself.
You got all the things taped to you. Like, oh, you mind if I snap one off Western grip real quick before we fire this up?
Yeah. Call it down rodeo.
I like a overhand, like I'm throwing dice.
I push it down and I roll over, and the friction, my body's pushes it into the mattress. It's joyless. I do reach climax, but there's no orgasm.
You guys can stay or you can leave. I don't care. You want to watch me take
One of
this
you
beast,
has to
it's
stay.
fine.
But we want this to end anytime. You don't got to say nothing. Only way it's going to end, though, is if you stay. One thing that was disconcerting is like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. My heart was racing. My brain was racing. I was like, I got to take a Xanax. I reached for it. Like, what are you grabbing? I just hear on a speaker that I didn't know exist. It's like, Jesus, you guys are Johnny on the spot.
They are in another room
watching.
observing you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like, just getting that. Okay, cool. Like, I'll jot it down on the chart here. It's like, okay.
What are you reaching for? None of your fucking business.
Yeah.
My dick. What do you think?
Nice. Continue.
Yeah. If that happens to you tonight, what are you reaching for? Say my hog.
Yeah.
See what kind of response you
That's
get.
cool. Hey, Larry, get in here. Be happy you picked up the Saturday shift.
I'm reaching for my Amazon plug. It's still in. Forgot about that.
Oh, boy. You might want to cover the cameras with a piece of tape or something, because this is too hot for TV.
Been in there all day. I'm going to get toxic shock.
I ain't going out like one of those Von Erich boys. Holy shit. Some 20-year-old nursing student hearing this. Like she's looking it up like it should be in some kind of textbook. Von Erich. That's interesting.
Holy shit. Shut it down. That's the best Von Erich's reference anybody's ever going to get. Oh, boy.
She's calling a supervisor who's at home sleeping.
Looking it up in a medical journal thinking it's a syndrome. the V. I'm hearing the V's. I'm not finding it.
Does it matter if they butt plugs from Amazon? They make it out of something different?
He really made that a point.
Yeah.
He really drove that home, no pun intended. Oh, God.
Boy.
Yeah, I can't fucking believe I'm saying it, but I would love to see Phoenix win or the Clippers. I kind of don't care either way. Yeah. As a Lakers fan, if it's in LA, it's in LA. I don't care.
And I have no problem with Atlanta or the Bucks. The Bucks are kind of bugging me because they should have this. They seem to underwhelm consistently, and the only reason they're getting this far is everyone's hurt. Like,
yeah, I would rather see Atlanta win because in my head, it's been Milwaukee's year for the past 6 fucking years. Like, you guys fiddle fucked around enough. Like, you were the almost team for 5 or 6 years now. I want to see them lose it. And, like, you guys wasted all that potential and never got it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Atlanta win that one. I would you know what? Just to be contrarian and have some artificial tension, I'll go with the Clippers. I would like to see the Clippers win. I like, it's not the Clippers aesthetic at all, or what I think of as the Clippers aesthetic, but I like this Bad Boys Black Los Angeles Clippers vibe they got going with the black jerseys and the mean font. They got a real Oakland Raiders thing going on.
They have another jersey that's has almost like a square logo that's right dead center in the chest. They sometimes wear now too.
Yeah, I'm pretty into it. It all like the whole team looks like Eazy-E's Compton hat. Yeah, like it's the best way I know how to describe it, and it's like I'm into that. So,
and I mean, I don't know. The Clippers don't do nothing for me, but and Kawhi's won a couple championships, but Paul George hasn't. And I like Paul George, so like if he were to win, I'd be happy for him.
Yeah, he played out of his mind in the last game that I watched. He and Terrence Mann both. So
losing Utah's what pisses me off. I wanted them to make it.
Yeah, I never liked Utah.
It just like when you're a team like Utah, man, your chances at being that close are once a generation. You know, like you get it every 25 years. Better make it work. And this was their chance. Holy, the Lakers are gone. The Nets are gone. This is your chance, man. And they blew it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were hurt too. They had two of their three best players were either out or hobbled. So
yeah, it's a lot of fucking injuries right now.
Never in my lifetime have I seen injuries like this in basketball.
Yeah, it's wild. Everybody's hurt. But.
And I know, like, of course, when anything happens, the pundits have to have a hot take. It's like Kawhi Leonard Kyrie Irving fell on someone's foot.
Yeah.
No amount of longer off-season, short would change that.
Shorter season, longer off.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. A lot of these injuries are weird fluke stuff, you know, like.
I feel like a lot of basketball injuries are weird flukes, you know?
Yeah.
A guy stepped wrong and blew his fucking knee out. Yeah. A guy landed wrong and broke his ankle. Like
guys blowing their Achilles are always weird because they don't even look like they should. Like, they're just running, and all of a sudden they just collapse.
Yep.
And a buddy of mine had it happen, and I've heard other pro basketball players say it. When Kobe Bryant did, he looked back at the guy that was following him like, why'd you kick me?
Yeah.
It's such interesting. That's your immediate thought is that someone kicked you in the back of the leg.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
My friend said the same thing. He's like, I was looking around for who kicked me, and there was nobody on my side of the court. Huh. And he said it dawned on me, that's what Kobe said. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Because, you do not want to blow your Achilles out because you are
God, I bet that
up.
fucking hurts.
Yep.
God damn.
And the recuperation is forever. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of wet nap baths.
Threaten me with a good time. I do it just recreationally.
Yeah.
All right, let's land this big bitch.
Yeah, this is a beefy one.
This is a beefy one. Well, we're enjoying ourselves. So we had a lot of Pimp My Ride and Garfield to talk about. So
Garfield, that's U.S. Acres hot takes.
All right, 8 through 12 for next week. Enjoy basketball. Good luck at your sleep study. I hope you win or whatever that is.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope I win. I honestly just hope I could sleep. I was up till 4:30 on the first one.
Yeah, but you fucked up your sleep schedule for this one.
I did the last one too.
So,
but I've done it for 2 nights in a row. I'm going on a combined 7 hours the last 2 nights for sleep. So I just feel it now. I'm going to be wide awake till. God damn it, brain! Why do you hate me so much? We're a fucking team. So how do I convince you don't get to upgrade bodies? I'm not a lease. You know, like, this is a lifetime contract. Like,
you're stuck with me. Help me.
Do you think I like this situation? Think this is the model I asked for?
This is you in the basement shouting at yourself.
Yeah. Poor Mick can hear it upstairs.
Your buddy Mick. He's sitting there putting headphones in, just like, here he goes again.
He's putting big shell headphones over the earbuds he has in. There we go. That will hopefully do it.
As he keeps like pushing more ants down the stairs, he's trying to drive you out.
Yeah, there we go. This will work. It's amazing how many centipedes this man can cohabit with.
He's got a hell of a tolerance for bugs.
I think he's thriving.
8 through 12 for next week. Everyone enjoy yourselves.
See you, everybody.